That was in memory of Brentford's former chairman, Dan Tarner, who has passed away at the age of 90. The Brentford players now form a huddle in their red and white striped shirts and black shorts. Aston Villa in their changed kit of the black shirts and white shorts. But before we get underway, we're going to go racing. It's the City of York Stakes. And here is John Hunt.
These days here in a top-level Group 1 race, and they turn for home. The favourite Rosalien from a wide draw, second last, as Quinault has the field at full stretch. He's being chased by Audience. A little gap then back to the French horse Marinoa Charlie, who's in company with Kirat, who was the shock winner of the Sussex Stakes at Goodwood. That day he beat Rosalien. Rosalien's now trying to close in on these leaders as well. And then slightly further back comes Exactly, who's looking for a way through. Seagulls 11 is running on as well. Well, if Rosalien's to win, he's going to have to really scrap for this. Never So Brave is being produced in the middle of the pack, and now it's all change up front. Half a furlong left to go. Never So Brave. Rosalien's trying hard to get to him. In behind them is Marinoa Charlie, Anaf, and also Lake Forest staying on well. Never So Brave's too tough. Never So Brave is the winner, and it's a three-way photograph for second place between Marinoa Charlie, Lake Forest, and I'm afraid Rosalien, beaten again this afternoon. Well named horse that. Never So Brave has won the City of York Stakes.
Disappointing for Richard Hannon, trainer of Rosalien, who was speaking to John 15 minutes or so ago here on 5 Live. We're underway at the G-Tech Community Stadium with Brentford in their red and white striped shirts playing from left to right, and Ouattara winning a corner already in these opening 60 seconds, Rob. Yeah. Oh no, he's actually changed his mind. He's given a goal kick.
Well, I'm not sure how he's managed that, because it was a corner, but very direct from Brentford. A lot of long balls, diagonal balls. Jordan Henderson firing one out to this right-hand side, and Ouattara proving a problem. Maybe Keith Andrews has changed the tactic. It was slow, it was pedestrian on the ball last week. They're going to go fast, they're going to go high.
2 goals to tell you about in the Football League, and they're both in League One. Northampton Town are leading Exeter City by 1-0. Northampton, who actually hadn't scored in their last 4 games, and Bolton Wanderers 0, Lincoln City 1. There's been a try in the Women's Rugby Union World Cup. Mas Faruqi.
Yeah, the forwards doing the business for Wales. Line out, rolling more. Captain Alex Callender ending up buried under a mass of bodies, but judged to have dotted down, but the conversion was missed, so it's Scotland 5, Wales 5.
Aston Villa playing out from the back. Incidentally, commentary of that is on Sports Extra 2, which is available through the BBC Sounds app, as Rodgers does well, gets away from Henderson, runs forward now, but then it was cut out there by Coyote. That loose ball not picked up by Onana, and Coyote is able to continue his forward run. Feeds it to Damsgaard, looks for the Brentford right back, who's continued to the edge of the area. Coyote does the step over, cuts inside, stretches, finds Damsgaard just outside the D. He passes the ball forward into the penalty area for Sharda. Back to Damsgaard outside the box, side on, looks for a shooting opportunity, weaves his way through, and then right-footed puts it wide. Excellent play by Brentford.
Brilliant end-to-end football. Brilliant from Coyote down the right initially, and then from Damsgaard, twinkle toes in between defenders, and the stadium waited, everyone waited. It's been an electric start from Brentford, and a glorious chance for Damsgaard.
Goal at Bournemouth, John Akers.
For Bournemouth, and Tavernier, deflected shot, nice work from Bournemouth down the left, took a massive deflection on off the underside of the crossbar, bounced down and in. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
His wife gave birth to a little boy last week, that's why he missed the game last weekend against Nottingham Forest. Had that gone in, you'd have expected the old baby celebration, wouldn't you, from Mikael Damsgaard? As we welcome listeners wherever you are in the world, from the BBC World Service to here at West London, for a coverage on BBC Radio 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app of Brentford 0, Aston Villa 0. It's always a pleasure to have your company on this Saturday afternoon, as Rodgers picks up the ball midway through the Brentford half, and then it's lifted forward at the back there by Vandenberg up towards Thiago. Thiago uses his strength, holds off camera, but then Cash running back for Aston Villa, and Aston Villa are back in possession.
He cut an isolated figure, Thiago, last week, and you're looking at Sharda and Damsgaard this week in particular to get in support of him, but they're going really aggressive off the ball, Brentford, and it's leaving themselves a little bit exposed at the back. One of the two centre-halves is having to step into midfield, but with Morgan Rogers and Tielemans in there, you're looking for those guys to be really strong exponents of finding the space.
Henderson has dispossessed Pau Torres, but his forward ball is going to be too far ahead of He of the high forehead, Damsgaard, as it's tidied up by Onana, and it goes all the way back to Emi Martinez, back in the starting lineup after, of course, he was suspended for that game against Newcastle last week.
Yeah, tearful end to the season, wasn't it, before the game, and then obviously waving goodbye to the fans. He's still here. Yeah. He's still playing for Villa. Who knew that some players just don't move?
And he's all in yellow away towards our right-hand side as the cloud is just starting to bubble up here in West London. But what is still a very pleasant afternoon temperature-wise, as then Collins on the half volley, just on the run, sweeps it out of play, and it goes out for an Aston Villa throw. Harrogate Town 0, Chesterfield 1 is a latest score in League 2. Harrogate, who unbeaten before today under Simon Weaver, as Digne waits to take with a throw on this near side, goes into Rodgers, bounces off his chest, just brushed across that dark shirt of the Aston Villa away strip, and Brentford are able to come forward. Damsgaard is stopped by a sliding Onana. Unai Emery down below with that jet black hair swept back, as it so often is, very slick, patrolling the technical area with these black pumps. Swindon Town lead Shrewsbury by a 1-0 in League 2. 0-0 here in the Premier League. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2 is how it finished. Bournemouth in the 3 o'clock games leading Wolves by a 0-0. And Burnley Sunderland remains 0-0, and that is on Sports Extra. Commentary of that, as we do, of course, give you a choice of listening now on a Saturday afternoon, and we will do as well for the next 4 years, because BBC Radio 5 Live, Sports Extra and BBC Sounds, we have more Premier League games than ever before. Here is Mings outside the centre circle in the Aston Villa half. Brentford have dropped off. Everybody of a red and white striped shirt back behind the ball, goes out towards Pau Torres. Watkins drops off, links back up with Onana. Here then is Camera in a central area, passes the ball with pace, and McGinn couldn't control that ball, and it bypasses his outstretched right foot and goes out for a throw. Back to Maz Faruqi for that Rugby Union World Cup game between Scotland and Wales. Another try.
Yeah, great response from Scotland. A second try for them, a second try for Francesca McGee, but a third attempt at a conversion in this match has been missed once more. So it's Scotland 10, Wales 5, 22 minutes played here.
Thanks, Maz. That's on Sports Extra 2. On Sports Extra we've got the Women's 100 London Spirit against Southern Brave, and the men's competition on Sports Extra 3 will have coverage of Northern Superchargers against the Oval Invincibles. Let's get an update from Turf Moor, shall we? Julia Bold.
It's Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, but we just had an injury to Dan Ballard, the hero last week, on the score sheet. It looks like he could have to go off early in this game. Burnley 0, Sunderland 0.
Well, that really would be a blow for Sunderland, who actually entertain Brentford next weekend on Wearside. Martinez, Pau Torres on this near side now, left-footed ball, goes over the head of Watkins, brought under control by Vandenberg, forward, Yarmouk links up with Henderson in the midfield. Jordan Henderson thought that he should have had a free kick there, but play continues. Coyote is forward, manages to hook it goalwards, didn't keep it in play. Rob.
Yeah, Brentford just looking to go forward as fast as they can, as quick as they can. They've got Sharda on the left-hand side, Wutara, the new signing, on the right-hand side. They've got a real presence out wide. They lacked that last week. King Lewis Potter and Carvalho in those respective positions didn't really lay a glove on Nottingham Forest at all. They're utilising them today. They're happy to sit and wait now. The game's settled down. They'll sit and wait without the ball, but then when they get it, they're going.
Colchester United 0, Barrow 1 is the latest score in League 2. Aston Villa play it short from the goal kick. They were almost caught out, but they've actually beaten the press there, and then Henderson comes across from Digne, and it will be an Aston Villa throw. We saw how James Trafford got himself in a right old tangle for that second goal for Tottenham Hotspur in that excellent win for the former Brentford manager Thomas Frank at Manchester City earlier, as Digne with a looping throw down the line, touched on by Rodgers, helped in its path by Watkins to Rodgers, and as he prods it into the penalty area, I think Vandenberg was expecting a shout there from Callaghan, didn't get it.
Yeah, it's exactly where they conceded the corner last week for the first goal against Nottingham Forest, and I think Vandenberg was there going, look, come on, take command.
Wycombe Wanderers, who are yet to win in League One, are leading Reading by a 0-0. So it's going to be a throw on this near side for Aston Villa that Digne waits to take. He's right up against the advertising hoardings in this compact little stadium. It's a rather flat throw that comes in. Schade, though, heads it back from where it came from. Digne heads it towards Tielemans, tries to thread it through, cut out by a sliding Damsgaard, back to his feet. Still, though, Villa scoop the ball in, punched away by Kelleher, comes out towards Cash, bounces off his chest, wouldn't sit for him to hit the ball in, played it out towards McGinn. His cross is repelled by the head of Vandenberg, and then there is Camera, and every Aston Villa player is in the Brentford half, away towards our left-hand side. Preston North End lead Ipswich Town by 1-0 at Deepdale. As a cross comes in, Mings is up there from the back, comes out towards McGinn, right corner of the area, turns, plays it in field, Camera 30 yards out, Tielemans is to his left, he goes back out to the right though, this is Cash, and Aston Villa slowly but surely are being forced away. There's been a goal at Coventry City. Nathan Albon.
To the home side, Coventry ball in from the right, first time finish from Haji Wright, the striker, into the back of the net beyond Joe Walsh. Coventry have made a fast start and they're 1-0 up here against QPR.
Bromley unbeaten in 9, going all the way back to April, have fallen behind at Meadow Lane in League 2, Notts County 1, Bromley 0. And we're up to date with the goals as they go in on BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service, and also the BBC Sound app. 11 minutes in. Villa seeing a lot of the ball here.
Yeah, well, Damsgaard's kind of the fall guy here, that he's being told time and time again by Coyote at right back, saying you've got to stay there because Luca Dean's pressing up so high on the left-hand side. We're going to have to go to a 5. So rather than being in midfield and helping sustain some pressure in a press, he's now at right wing-back almost, and a little shuffle from them. An almighty cheer from Jordan Henderson when he wins the throw.
Jordan Henderson, who certainly Keith Andrews has been really raving about him this week, talking about, you know, the fact that he's an excellent communicator, his leadership qualities, came on and had a calming influence after what was a torrid first 45 minutes at the City Ground last weekend for Brentford, and he will still have his eye on a World Cup place at the end of the season, won't he, from an England point of view?
Yeah, well, he's been given the carrot by Thomas Tuchel, hasn't he, with the previous games in the summer.
On a free from Ajax, signed a 2-year deal. Fleetwood Town are leading Oldham by 1-0. Let's get an update from Bournemouth. John Akers.
Bournemouth have hit the crossbar. Antoine Semenyo, cross from Brooks, half volley, 3 yards out, off the underside of the bar. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Brentford are in here. Ouattara on his debut, gets a second chance and takes it. It was a flick on from Thiago. Ouattara with his pace latched onto it. The first opportunity he couldn't take, but it wasn't cleared by Aston Villa. And Ouattara, the club record signing, opens up his Brentford account with the opening goal after 12 minutes.
Well, the Bees have a new hero. Ouattara, welcome to the club. And it's direct from Brentford. They just go long from the back, and the Aston Villa line is so high, it's up on the halfway line waiting for it. Ouattara is as close as he can be to Igor Thiago, who wins the flick, and from there it's a foot race, and he wins it against Pau Torres. Emi Martinez, unfortunate, does really well sliding out, makes the block, gets the second stab, makes no mistake, and Visa who? They've gotten Ouattara now.
Well, Dango Ouattara scored 9 goals for Bournemouth last season. Wissa is still at the club. He's been training actually with the group, not involved of course today. There's been that much talked about move to Newcastle United, and Ouattara, who's been brought into the club, has got some hard act to follow when you think that Mbeumo with his 20 goals last season and Wissa with his 19 in the Premier League. But when you're a club record signing, to get off the mark as early as that will do him the power of good.
Yeah, and it's just a little bit of stroke of luck that you get. It touches, comes off, I think it's Matty Cash covering round, comes off Emi Martinez in the save, then hits Matty Cash in a little replay, in a little rebound, and comes back to him, and just that stroke of luck. A new team, a new manager, a little bit of uncertainty, all of a sudden all is well in the world again.
Now, play hasn't restarted because it's Camera who's gone down at the moment, just outside the centre circle. So he's getting treated by the 2 physios. Everybody else, the other outfield players, have all come across for liquid refreshment. as have the Brentford players, and Keith Andrews is getting as many instructions across to his Brentford players in this unscheduled break that we have here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Mansfield Town 1, Leyton Orient 0 is a latest score. Wrexham have just taken the lead in the Championship at home to Sheffield Wednesday, without a win away from home, Sheffield Wednesday, since March. But we'll get an update from Turf Moor and Julia Bold.
Still goalless here at Turf Moor, but Dan Ballard has had to go off. It looked like a problem with his groin. He's been replaced by Jason Seals after just 8 minutes. Burnley 0, Sunderland 0.
Looks like Camera is unable to continue as well. I think Emi Buendia has just been given the shout, so he's getting his final instructions. News of that goal at Wrexham, Steve Wyeth.
A goal, the first in Wrexham colours for Kiefer Moore. Free kick, left-hand side, delivered into the penalty area, not dealt with by Wednesday. And when it dropped to the feet of Moore, left-footed, well beyond the reach of debutant goalkeeper Ethan Horvath. Wrexham 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
Let's get an update from Celtic against Livingston. Ailey Barber.
Still goalless, but Celtic did have the ball in the net, ruled out for offside. It looked a pretty clear one. VAR took their time though, and it was indeed offside. Arnie Engels in the build-up. So it is still Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Emi Buendia, whose last appearance was in January, finished last season on loan at Bayer Leverkusen. 2 goals in 14 appearances, has come on for Camera, and we are back underway. Sean Dyche's son Max has got Northampton Town a second goal as they now lead Exeter 2-0. Sharda, as Brentford are attacking, leading by a goal to 0 here on 5 Live, the BBC Sounds app, and we're also live on the World Service. And Brentford, buoyed by that goal, have been very, very proactive.
Yeah, all it sees here, Aston Villa, they've just made the change and they're still trying to reorganise themselves. Tielemans has dropped back in as a more of a defence-minded midfielder. Buendia as the attacking number 10, but Tyrone Mings just gave the ball away inexplicably. Just a really poor pass and put themselves back under pressure again.
This is going to be a long throw from the right back, Michael Coyote, who's over on that far side, the left. Vandenberg is forward, Collins is there. It's a throw that is just not quite level with the penalty area on that far side, the left, for Brentford, who play from left to right. But Coyote now is going to launch it. In it comes now, goes a long, long way. Bounces, might fall to Collins, clattered away by Cash. Southampton Stoke, Sahel Sahi.
Southampton 0, Stoke 0, Ian. We've played 18 minutes here. It's been a good start, good atmosphere. Both sides have had good chances. Southampton 0, Stoke 0.
Long ball goes forward from Brentford, headed on by Vandenberg, caught by Martinez, throws it out towards McGinn, looks for an option and finds Tielemans going through the middle. Damsgaard tries to match him. Rodgers now left corner of the penalty area, and Digne joining the attack, but touched behind. It'll go for a corner kick to Aston Villa, who trail by a goal to 0.
Yeah, they're just in danger of getting carried away a bit, Brentford. They committed so many bodies forward in the long throw and then the following long ball in that they left themselves very exposed. So just a little warning there.
Well, they've got a corner kick to deal with. It is going to be Cash who has to retrieve a spare ball off one of those tiny little white cones. The other ball wasn't forthcoming from the ball boy. Oh, sorry, it was a ball girl who's now just put that back on the cone as Cash, with his right arm aloft. Aston Villa attacking the end away towards our left-hand side, looking for an equaliser. And so Matty Cash, on his 150th Premier League appearance for Aston Villa, flicks it on. And it was, I think it was Buendia who got a touch to it. Straight to Turf Moor, Julia Bold.
It's Burnley 1, Sunderland 0. Lyle Foster with the goal. Sunderland currently arguing the referee. They feel there was a foul in the build-up, but Burnley have the lead.
Thank you, Julia. Bromley have just equalised as well. Notts County 1, Bromley 1. So a successive corner to come in for Aston Villa. Cash again to take it. Again, it's in towards the near post. A crowd of bodies comes towards McGinn. Heads it rather than shooting. Out towards Tielemans. Down into the ground. Oh, that was a high boot by Tyrone Mings. And he has gone and caught Lewis Potter there on the top of the head. Lewis Potter's head was stooping. I don't think it was serious foul play, was it? By me, it didn't look.
It's a yellow card.
Yeah,
it's a yellow card. It's a high boot, and he's made contact. There's a lot of reaction there from the Brentford players, just trying to kill the game. There's no real damage done, but very fortunate.
Oh, actually,
that is very high.
I thought Lewis Potter would put his head a little bit lower, and he hadn't. That was a high boot from Tyrone Mings.
Well, he's very fortunate for no yellow card whatsoever there. A couple of good corners from Aston Villa. There's all 15 players within the 6-yard box, including Kelleher, and it's just so hard to actually get the ball away that Brentford was suffering a bit there, just trying to buy a bit of time, trying to kill a bit of time, and that tackle did that for him. But Mings is a fortunate boy.
Yeah, they talk about a high threshold this season for yellow cards. I can only think it was a genuine attempt to play the ball, but you'll see that tonight. Match of the day tonight with Kelly Cates at 10:20 on BBC One. Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1 is the latest score on the Scottish Premiership, as Brentford take a quick throw on that left-hand side towards Thiago and Mings. That's a good old tussle between the two, but Thiago's adjudged to have fouled Mings. Free kick then to Aston Villa. Brentford, though, are still 1-0 up. Scotland-Wales in the Women's Rugby Union World Cup is live on Sports Extra 2. Maz Faruqi is keeping an eye on it for us.
And we've had a third Scotland try, really patient build-up play, and it's scrum half Leah Brebner Holden with it as Scotland stretch the Welsh defence one way and then the other, and the conversion attempt has finally found its mark. So it's Scotland 17, Wales 8, 32 minutes played.
Thank you, Maz. Brentford forced to go back. Aston Villa get a throw on the right-hand side. And Julia, I'm hearing that goal has been disallowed.
Yes, we are back to 0-0 at Turf Moor, and it was because when Lyle Foster went to score, he actually tripped Jensen Seelt over, and that was in the build-up. So yeah, it's been ruled out goalless here at Turf Moor again.
And it's also goalless again at Rugby Park, because that Dundee goal for Joe Wesley has also been ruled out. So it remains Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. Reminds me, actually, when we heard from Ailey at Celtic, the Old Firm next Sunday will be live on BBC Radio 5 Live next weekend. We've still got so much live football to bring you this weekend, which I'll tell you about in due course. Throw from Aston Villa on the right-hand side, headed away by Vandenberg, played out by Tielemans. There's a head injury. Referee's got to stop it. The referee, who incidentally is Tony Harrington, here today. And so there is a stoppage, and we will take advantage of that and hear of a second goal for Coventry City from Nathan Albon.
And QPR's Kieran Morgan is looking up to the heavens. He gave the ball away carelessly inside his own half, and he was punished by Brandon Thomas Asante high into the top corner. Coventry 2, QPR 0.
Your former club, Rob, have lost both away games this season. That could be a third defeat on their travels.
I think Chelsea are the only former club that I've got that haven't lost every game so far this season. It's tough times for in the Green household.
Yes, and the less we mention about last night, possibly the better, I would imagine, as we swiftly move on to Bournemouth and John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Chance for Wolves. Strand Larsen with a header. Really good save down to his right by Petrovic. You fancy he might have scored it. He was in a good spot. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Vandenberg is still getting patched up from a head injury. But I would imagine that Keith Andrews, he talked about last week, and he said to his players this week, I don't want the first 45 minutes to define you.
Yeah.
And he's talked a lot about the resilience. The start that he's had would echo maybe that message that he's gained up his players this week on training.
Yeah, I think they've simplified it. They've just gone, right, OK, what are our strengths? Sharda, Thiago, Utara, let's get it to him. Let's get it to him early. And actually, it's ended up turning into a bit of a scrap here. A lot of long balls from Aston Villa, as well as Brentford now. And it's right old ding-dong battle in there, hence the bruises and the bumps and the clash of heads that we've had so far.
Claudia Schiffer, I'm told, is here today. Her filmmaker husband has been rumoured to be investing in Brentford. Led to believe that she is somewhere in the director's box.
I'm looking round now, and I'm not sure where the director's box is, but I'm sure we'll find it.
I've got to concentrate on this computer screen away to my left, as Brentford, with those head injuries, it's just unsettled the rhythm of the game a little bit.
Yeah, Villa have gone long early, and they've gone long a lot of times now all of a sudden since conceding. Mings gave that throw-in away, and it was almost like a trigger of forget the football, let's just get up there. And from that, Brentford have responded in kind, and it's a bit of a tennis match now.
Ball goes back for Aston Villa to Emi Martinez. We've got another stoppage. This time it's Cash on the far side holding the back of his head. as he slowly but surely makes his way back to his feet. Burton Albion are leading at Edgeley Park in League One. Stockport County 0, Burton Albion 1. Let's get an update from Norwich with Chris Coles.
Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0. We're switching between measured control build-up and wild counter-attacks, gloriously open at times. One decent chance for Norwich, cross from the right, an off-balance Sargent headed wide. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 0.
And to the Hawthorns, John Bennett.
Great timing, because West Bromwich Albion have taken the lead. They lead 1-0 against Portsmouth. It's Mikey Johnston with the goal, right-footed, outside of the box. No one charged him down, took the shot into the back of the net. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 0.
Looking to make it 3 wins out of 3 in the Championship. The results earlier today: Charlton Athletic 0, Leicester City 1, Hull City 0, Blackburn 3, their first point of the season. And Swansea City, who'd won both of their home games this season, in the end got a late equaliser to draw 1-1 with Watford. They were the 3 early results. Ball played forward by Collins, early towards Thiago, latches onto it in the penalty area. Mings shields it away from goal. Damsgaard plays it infield to Collins, who'd continued his run from defence, back out towards Damsgaard. Shot blocked by Digne. That was in the side of the... Ooh, that winded him a little bit. It was the side of his ribs on his right side that he just gives it a fierceful little rub to try and shake off the effects as it goes out for a Brentford throw.
Well, it's another long throw coming in, and Villa tried to play out from the back and made a complete mess of it, and now they're facing the crosses and the barrage.
Coyote is the one who once again is up against the advertising hoardings in the main stand away towards our right. Brentford play from left to right as we look, leading by a goal to nil. It's a long looping throw. Mings heads it up rather than away. It's bouncing around. It'll come to Henderson, whose left-footed volley is blocked by McGinn behind for a corner kick to Brentford.
John McGinn's turning around looking at his goalkeeper saying, would you save that? Because I'm not sure he wanted to make the block, but it's so difficult to defend these long throws. We go back to Rory Delap in his days and how difficult it was at Stoke to go there and defend crosses and long balls because of the lack of pace, and it just drops and dies and you can't get a clean clearance on it.
Damsgaard then waits to take the corner kick for Brentford on that far side, the left. In it comes now, headed out at the near post by Cash. It'll come out to Henderson, 35 yards out from goal, plays it back out towards Damsgaard. Damsgaard doesn't deliver straight away. Now he does, aim towards Thiago, headed away by Torres. That's going to bounce behind for a corner kick to Brentford. This is strong pressure from the home side.
Pressure, a lot of crosses, a lot of balls into the box, and a lot of big players in there. Real battle going on. It's been well marshalled so far by both sides with all the crosses going in.
Damsgaard again with a corner kick for Brentford on the left, flicked on by Sharda, edge of the area, Yarmouk, and maybe that's why he's still looking for his first goal in his senior career. It was a wasteful effort with a right-footed volley that was slashed high and wide, and it's a goal kick to Aston Villa. Rob Green.
Yeah, Aston Villa looking again now. They've set up to play out from the back, and you're just wondering, you keep making a mess of this, you keep getting it wrong, and it's slow, it's pedestrian. Martinez stood dawdling on the ball again, waiting for the movement. You think, you've got good footballers in there, but the balance of getting it forward and when to get it forward, putting themselves under pressure at times.
Keith Andrews, the new head coach, the former set-piece coach, of course, of the Thomas Frank. And he's this week brought in Stephen Rice as Brentford's new set-piece coach to ultimately replace him. He left his post as Ireland's under-21 assistant role there. So he has come in as one of to join the backroom staff under Keith Andrews, as Tielemans strokes it towards Cash. And Cash gets it back then from McGinn midway through the Brentford half. Floodlights are on here this afternoon in West London, despite the bright conditions. Torres, short and square to Tielemans. Again, Brentford have dropped off. Now Thiago is the one to break ranks to try and press Mings. Goes out wide to Cash, down the line to McGinn. Helps it first time. Watkins, we've hardly mentioned the name of Ollie Watkins, have we?
No, him. Buendia coming on. Morgan Rogers wants a try very early, but it's sat so deep, so tight. It's so difficult when Villa do eventually get forward with the ball. We're talking the back four being in line with the penalty area, and then the front two only 15 yards in front of them, so you can imagine how congested it is in there.
Mansfield Town 2, Leyton Orient 0, and Wimbledon are leading Barnsley by 1-0. Barnsley, who are third and unbeaten, but have just fallen behind, as Aston Villa, who are trailing, are trying to get themselves back into this game here live on BBC Radio 5 Live, the World Service and the BBC Sounds app. Thiago, though, for Brentford, trying to hold the ball up, battling away for it, and in the end was just outnumbered. And it's Cash who can run free now for Villa over the halfway line. McGinn going on ahead of him. Cash continues to motor forward. His forward ball blocked by Yarmouk, and Kelleher can't keep that bouncing ball in play, so it'll be an Aston Villa corner on the right.
They need to get it wide, Villa. They've got very little. They got Ollie Watkins to attack it when they do get up high, but the space is out wide for Aston Villa. The fullbacks go very, very high. They create an extra man up there, so I think that's the answer for them at the moment. What they do when they get up there is the next question, but at the moment Brentford looking comfortable.
Kiefer Moore has got a second goal for Wrexham. Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0 is the latest score in the Championship. Brentford have a slender lead here. They've got to defend this corner kick. Aston Villa on that far side, the right. Rodgers, Onana, Watkins and Mings all close together. As in it goes towards the 6-yard area, comes out towards Tielemans on the half volley, hit it sweetly, left-footed on the rise, but it was headed behind by Sharda, and it's gone out for another corner kick.
It needed that. They had 5 Aston Villa players waiting to attack the ball, and the 6th was Tielemans, just loitering beyond the far post, 18 yards out, and that was nestling in the corner.
You know, you mentioned your record of your former sides or clubs that you might support.
Who's losing?
Woking have just fallen behind in the National League. I noticed to Hartlepool United. Notts County 2, Bromley 1 is the latest score in League 2. Rodgers out then towards Tielemans. McGinn strikes it low, blocked by the legs of Kelleher, and the acrobatic effort by Mings didn't quite come off. Comes back towards McGinn, cleared away by Collins. Yarmouk tries to break away. Aston Villa now have the control, and Unai Emery is just saying, just slow it down. As the ball goes long out towards Buendia. Coyote, though, jumps in front of him, and Brentford now try and bring the ball away. Let's get news of that second goal from Wrexham. Steve Wyeth.
It's the second goal that's a little bit tough on Sheffield Wednesday, because no sooner had they come back into the game and Charlie McNeil had come close to equalising as Wrexham go down the other end. George Dobson's shot only parried by debutant goalkeeper Ethan Horvath straight into the path of Keith Moore. His second of the game, Wrexham second. They lead Sheffield Wednesday 2-0.
Up towards Rodgers and cleared away by Collins. They were looking for a flag that never materialised. Brad Hills has been sent off for Stockport County as they trail at home to Burton Albion by 1-0. That's a personalised goal service I've just given you, by the way. I don't normally read out National League scores.
That's only because I told you they'd lose today.
Simon Grayson, of course, the manager of Hartlepool United, who've made a good start to their National League campaign. Digne tries to get forward, ball runs away from him, out it goes for a goal kick. We'll be going racing very, very soon. And we'll get a flavour of the Knavesmire from John Hunt.
Willie Mullins, a powerful trainer, of course, in jumping and flat. He's won this race before, the Ebor handicap, and his Ethical Diamond shows as a well-backed favourite at 4-1. His other runner, Hip Hop de Loire, is 5-1. French Masters 5-1 as well, and the quietly fancied Shadow Dance, an 8-1 chance as well.
It's music to some people's ears, John, I would suggest. So we will be back with you for that. The Ebor handicap due off very, very soon, as there is another stoppage in play. We're going to have a lot of stoppage time here. Sharda, who is the player getting some treatment.
It's been quite a disjointed game. It took like a blow to the ankle, but realistically, these set pieces and balls into the box are so hotly contested in there that the amount of collisions that are going on and blows to various parts of the body, shots raining in on the goals. It's been disjointed, it's been quite truncated, but also really, really physical.
Another goal at Coventry, Nathan Albon.
And another goal for Coventry. Ian, Matt Grimes, edge of the penalty area, squared it to Jack Radoni, whose strop was deflected into the back of the net. Nearing half-time, Coventry 3, QPR 0.
Aston Villa have at least had one shot on target. They failed an attempt, a shot in the first half last week against Newcastle. You were there?
Flat, really flat, and not really had the intensity to the game, and it was easy for Newcastle. You wouldn't say that today, They've not really had the creativity yet, but been better.
Let's get an update from Bournemouth. John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. It was Tavernier with a Semenyo assist for the goal early on. Wolves have got an injury. Hoover's gone off, the right back, and their new signing Chichua has come on. Fastest player in Serie A last season. It's Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Bristol Rovers are leading Cambridge United by 1-0 in League Two. So Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0. Earlier, Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. First time since the 21-22 campaign that Spurs have won both of their opening games to a league season. In the Championship, Birmingham 0, Oxford 0, Coventry 3, QPR 0. Goalless between Norwich and Middlesbrough. Preston are 1-0 up against Ipswich. No goals at Sheffield United or Southampton. West Brom lead Portsmouth by 1-0, and Wrexham lead Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. The Ebor handicap is going to be with us very, very soon here on BBC Radio 5. Rob.
Well, you're just looking at Brentford again. There is no messing about. They get the ball, they get the opportunity, they get it forward, and they know that they're going to do it. Damsgaard that time making the run forward beyond Utara, beyond Coyote, everybody just going, go, go, go. There's real direction and real purpose to it. It's not pretty at times, but Villa know that they're in a real scrap.
10 minutes to go to the break. Brentford lead by 1-0. Sharda, who's able to continue. Henderson plays it forward to Damsgaard. Now out towards Ouattara, the goal scorer. Ouattara running at Digne. Goes on the inside. Went to ground far too easily. Not too much of a touch there by Digne. And referee Tony Harrington had a good view of that and says no foul. And now Aston Villa get a free kick inside the centre circle. Another goal at Coventry. Nathan Alban.
I feel like I'm taking over, Ian. It's 4-0 now, Coventry lead against QPR. It's the second for Haji Wright. Thomas Asante held the ball up well and played it to Haji Wright. Simple finish into the corner. Coventry 4, QPR 0.
Yellow card for Ouattara. No, it hasn't been given. It should have been given. It was a dive. I don't understand. You know, you don't give it, you see it as a referee, you see the dive, give him the yellow card.
Yeah, he went to ground far too easily, didn't he? Here is Buendia for Aston Villa on that far side, the right. Buendia running back, plays it along the ground towards Cash. Cash goes in field, Mings forward of the centre circle. Again, though, Brentford have dropped off and defending in numbers in that final third of the field. As Tielemans has to go square, back out towards Cash on that far side, forward to McGinn, goes on the overlap, not used. It's a decoy run in the end. Onana puts his foot on it, then shuffles the ball forward towards McGinn. Cash is now behind McGinn. It will be a Cash cross, and then it is blocked, and it goes out for a throw, right down by the corner flag, over on that far side. Sheffield United have had a torrid start to the season. They are pointless. In fact, they've lost all three in all competitions, and Millwall have taken the lead at Bramall Lane. Leyton Orient, incidentally, have got a goal back at Field Mill in League One. Mansfield Town 2, Leyton Orient 1. And we are up to date with the goals as they go in the Football League. As the Sun tries to break through. Throw is a strong one, flicked on by Mings in the penalty area. And then Ouattara with his clearance. And it will be a Brentford free kick, I think, that Tony Harrington has ordered in that penalty area. Half-time in the rugby, Mas Faruqi.
Yeah, much made about Scotland's difficult build-up off the field issues. Half this squad to still not have central contracts after October, but perhaps all of that noise has been galvanising because it's Scotland with the advantage at the break with 3 tries to Wales' 1. They lead Wales 17-8.
And there will be commentary of that on Sports Extra 2, as he's not going to give a free kick, is he going to give an uncontested drop ball?
Drop ball, it was a clearance that struck him. Referee, and there's a real debate from John McGinn saying, well, we were having the ball, you cleared it, you were the last thing to have it, and Jordan Henderson sportingly said, OK, yeah, technically we should get the ball, but kicked it straight back to Aston Villa. It's good communication and well managed by both teams and the referee.
The loading process is underway for the Ebor handicap, where Ethical Diamond is likely to go off as the 9-2 favourite. We'll be there very, very soon with John Hunt from the Ebor Festival this week, as in the closing stages of this first half. There's not many more that still need to be loaded at York. No other goals to tell you about elsewhere around the country. as Cash goes down the line on that far side, the right. McGinn infield to Buendia. Buendia able to turn, substitute for the injured Camera. Now to Pau Torres. News of that goal at Bramall Lane from Naz Premji.
Yeah, Ivanovic flicked on to Luke Cundle, 10 yards out, fired past Michael Cooper. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Aston Villa looking for an equaliser. 6 minutes of this first half remaining. They are in the Brentford half, but Brentford defending in numbers and not giving much away. You think how open they were in the first half against Forest last week.
Yeah, and you look in there and you're saying, well, you've learnt your lessons, well done, and you're making it so difficult for you to play through. I think Newcastle themselves have given a good idea of how to play against Aston Villa. You've got to cut off the lines into Morgan Rogers. Now Buendia is on the pitch. He's another one who's going to look for it. Tielemans has dropped in. He was one that barely anonymous last week, and again they've struggled to create.
So corner kick to Aston Villa. Cash is going to take it on this near side. Every red and white shirt for Brentford, striped shirt, is back inside their penalty area, and it is an extremely crowded 6-yard box. Cash to take the corner kick. In it goes towards the near post, headed out by Ouattara. Damsgaard on the edge of the area. Comes now out towards Ouattara, who looks for Damsgaard, who was the most advanced player there for Brentford. But Digne had gone back with him to cut out the run, and Aston Villa deal with the danger.
It was the wrong player, wasn't it? Damsgaard making the run. They wanted Schade to be charging through, or Ouattara, who was on the ball, to be charging through, but it wasn't. But again, just that breakaway, that opportunity's there for Brentford.
The Ullball handicap is underway. We'll be there very soon with John Hunt, but now, first of all, a goal at Birmingham. Pat Murphy.
Birmingham ahead at last, swift counter-attack, edge of the box, Song Hoo Pak sliding in, right-footed. Birmingham 1, Oxford 0.
BBC Radio 5 Live in the World Service. We're going racing. It's the Ebor handicap and John Hunt.
Just through halfway in, and French Master is the leader. He started very slowly. His rider Rab Havlin kept him very wide and then made his way to the lead. He leads in front of Fleetfoot in second place and Queenstown in third. Then Ascending in fourth position. Ascending is followed by Hip Hop de Loire, another one of the favourites who's just in behind them. Together there with Al Mosher, who's in a good position as well. Enemy is slightly further back with One Smooth Operator on their outside. Shadow Dance is making ground but is being ridden along. Ethical Diamonds going really strongly just in behind them. Siege of Troy another. So too Kihava, and Real Dream is trying to plug on next to Ethical Diamond as well. Ethical Diamond's the one who catches the eye. His riders desperately looking for racing room though, and now just gets it, moves ahead of Real Dream, but now he's in behind Ascending, who's another of the leaders. Meanwhile, Shadow Dance being produced over on the far side. Ascending, Ethical Diamond, the two leaders near side. Majestic Warrior. Then we've got Shadow Dance, who's now weakening, staying on his stress-free. Ethical Diamond though produced late. He got out of trouble there with horses in front of him, found a gap, and Ethical Diamond storms to victory to beat Ascending. Queenstown stress-free. Hip Hop de Loire was fifth again in the race, and then in sixth came Real Dream. Ethical Diamond. Willie Mullins has done it once again with jockey William Buick on board. My word, they had to take a deep breath when they were looking for racing room. They pinched a gap and shot clear. Ethical Diamond, the 5-1 favourite, has won the Ebor by about 3 lengths.
And here Brentford have just gone and increased their lead with a cracking finish from Damsgaard. Right-footed, in off the underside of the crossbar. What a sweet strike. And Brentford now lead Aston Villa by 2-0.
Well, there's some
but
confusion.
It's already been disallowed, has it? They're checking for a foul in the build-up. Emi Martinez, the goalkeeper, is lying flat on his back. Their celebrations might be cut short.
Well, they've let the goal, or let the strike come in, so it can be checked by VAR to see whether it would be a goal, but the initial decision is a foul. Emi Martinez coming in amongst the bodies, and really difficult to see whether he's been denied or impeded in any way, because there's just such congestion in there.
Decision, no goal. Foul from Nathan Collins, so that goal is ruled out. Reading have got an equaliser at Wickham. We'll bring you news of a 5th goal for Coventry. But first of all, 2 goals at Carrow Road. Chris Coles.
Both for Middlesbrough, who lead Norwich by 2-0. What a spell for Borough. Firstly, Finazaz, left-hand side of the area, driving in at the front post, and Tommy Conway finishing off a swift counter-attack. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Oldham have equalised at Fleetwood. Fleetwood 1, Oldham 1. Reading are now leading at Wycombe Wanderers. Wycombe Wanderers 1, Reading 2 is a latest score in League One. And we will get news of that 5th goal for Coventry from Nathan Alban.
It's number 5 from Coventry's number 5. Jack Radoni with a low curler for his 2nd of the day. QPR have fallen apart. That away end already emptying. Coventry 5, QPR 0.
Have you had chance to see it again, the foul from Collins on the keeper?
Yeah, it's soft. And you're looking, and what I would say is there is contact. Contact from Collins is not a great deal. And Emi Martinez is coming in amongst the bodies. He's being proactive. He's gone to affect the play. It's not like it's on his head when Collins has bundled into him. He's gone a long way out of his goal. I think he's fortunate there because Collins, yes, he stepped across, but you're allowed to do that as a player. It's up to the goalkeeper to get there, and he hasn't done.
That's the voice of the former England international goalkeeper Rob Green, who is with us here on 5 Live. Not surprised that we've got 7 minutes of added on time with the constant interruptions that we seem to have had in this first half. So 7 minutes of additional time here at the G-Tech Community Stadium, where Brentford still lead Aston Villa by 1-0. Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Earlier Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. As a free kick to Aston Villa, Tielemans to take it, right-footed. Digne gets himself available, cleared by Collins inside that 6-yard area. Back it goes, headed on, edge of the area, high up the chest of Buendia, kept alive on the edge of the box. Now Brentford can break, and Ouattara, and he's got Yarmouk streaking away out towards the right-hand side. Tielemans is the one who's got to track that run. Yarmouk holds the ball up away from Buendia, and Aston Villa then quick to get those black shirts back behind the ball. And watching on, Unai Emery looks quite relaxed as Brentford though keep the ball as they now build once again from the back and through the middle for Damsgaard. And Damsgaard to Lewis Potter. His first touch deserted him and went away and allowed Aston Villa to get back in possession. Damsgaard tries to win it back, loses out though in that 50-50 challenge with McGinn. And now it's with Onana. Onana for Aston Villa. Just dinks the ball across towards Pau Torres. Left of the centre circle and now over the halfway line. Still lacking rhythm though, aren't they, in an attacking sense, Aston Villa?
There's been nothing. It's been so comfortable. One strike, which was a knockdown from a set piece and a good save from Kelleher, but actually creating stuff, opening up Brentford, there's been so little. We've not mentioned Morgan Rogers or Ollie Watkins other than saying that we haven't mentioned them.
Yes. Here is Mings. Pau Torres. Home supporters just trying to keep Brentford going as we edge slowly towards half-time in stoppage time. Here is Buendia. Ouattara hassling and harrying. Mings puts his foot on the ball in the centre circle, almost comes to a standstill. Now with Tielemans to Rodgers. Half-hearted challenge by Rodgers, but he's able to wriggle away from that from Damsgaard. Still comes forward. Digne on this near left-hand side, infield to Tielemans. Tielemans looks for a shooting opportunity. Henderson just leans into him. Tielemans still goes out wide to the right, finds McGinn right corner of the area. Left-footed ball by McGinn, scooped in, and Collins heads it behind for a corner kick.
Well, there we go. Rodgers, Tielemans and Watkins all mentioned in the same move, and one of the best bits of passage of play that Aston Villa have had, and the stadium goes quiet when those players get in the ball. They know they're a threat, and Brentford step off a fraction because they know that they can twist and turn and they get themselves out of tight situations. But how many corners have we seen so far in this game already? It's been so many crosses, so tight and heavily congested in the penalty areas.
Another corner kick then for Villa. Cash to take it on this near side. Headed out by Thiago at the near post. Tielemans with the cushion volley ball towards Cash, who was caught by Ouattara. That'll be a free kick. I can tell you that Ollie Watkins has had just 7 touches in this game so far.
I wouldn't have said it was that many. And one of them wasn't great. I saw that come off his knee in his own half, so he's barely been sort of a link-up player, has he? I know that's not his main facet of his game, but you're expecting when you're up against big centre-halves and you to be some sort of a wall, some sort of something to a board to play off for your teammates.
Tielemans to take the free kick in stoppage time for Aston Villa from this left-hand side. Collins again heads it away. He's met everything in the air, hasn't he, Collins, today, it seems. Cash then goes long, and that's like an up and under in rugby union. Caught by Kelleher, all in green, drops forward onto his knees, quickly springs back to his feet, bowls the ball out. Lewis Potter then down the left-hand side towards Sharda. Shoulder barge with Cash. Fair challenge, says the referee. Free kick to Brentford on the left-hand side, 1-0.
Well, Sharda looks to play it quickly and immediately he gets told, no. Let's just slow it down. We've got 2-3 minutes till half-time. We've got another opportunity for a long throw free kick, whichever it is, and all of a sudden there's 15 players in the Aston Villa penalty area.
And Coyote on that far side is going to take the throw. So we are into the 5th minute of the minimum of 7 in this first half on 5 Live. And Brentford still lead 1-0. Coyote, a long throw right down the throat of Martinez, who doesn't catch it cleanly, just pats the ball down, looks for the early release. Thiago is standing in front of him. In the end, Martinez has got to throw it out towards McGinn. Half-time at Bournemouth. John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Tavernier's deflected goal, a Semenyo assist. Semenyo also hit the bar. Wolves' best chance from Strand Larsen, a header saved, and Chichoa's come on for Hoover. It's Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Watkins on the edge of the area had a sight of goal, and the shot, left-footed, took a deflection, and that could have gone anywhere. Kelleher looked sort of like he was flat-footed there, and as it is, it's gone out for a corner kick to Aston Villa.
A bit harsh, that, Deno. He's going one way and the deflection took it the other. I wouldn't call that flat-footed. Yeah, but no, Youri Tielemans in a bit of space and everybody making a run to the left, and Watkins just drifted out to the other side. Clever bit of movement, created the angle for himself.
Commentary's a little bit like Roy Walker and catchphrase. You say what you see, but the goalkeepers' union is still alive and well. As I understand that you still think that the ball's moving around a lot.
Always.
For the keepers at the minute, I'm told by Little Bird. As it comes in for Cash from the corner, headed out again by that Brentford defence. And Damsgaard putting Digne under pressure, and in the end he's helped out by Tielemans, who goes back to Martinez. And we are now inside the last 50 seconds of this first half. Here is Buendia, no flag. Buendia scoops it, headed on by Torres. Rodgers is there, Vandenberg. Torres goes in and catches Henderson. That looks a painful one. He was on the stretch, Pau Torres, and he absolutely clattered into Henderson, who's not moved since going to ground.
Brave from Henderson, and needed it because Brentford had just stopped momentarily. They thought there was an offside flag coming. There wasn't. There should have been, really, because Matt Cash was offside. Gets involved in the play. He actually touches the ball, so he definitely does get involved. I don't know why it wasn't flagged, but from that point, just needed to put the bodies on the line for the umpteenth time in this first half. It's been such an attritional half.
I tell you what, I'm offering a personalised goal service for you with updates of Hartlepool 2, Woking 0. They've got a second goal.
Stop now.
And I'm now doing the half-time reports, which really should be Mark Chapman's job, but we'll go to Burnley and Julia Bold.
It's finished, it's half-time, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0. Lyle Foster looked to have got Burnley's first Premier League goal. It was wiped out by VAR, though, a foul on Jensen Seelt in the build-up. So goalless at the break, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0.
Rest assured you won't catch me presenting Match of the Day.
OK, well, it's Waterford Ducks that for Chappers. It's back in the seat again, and just a slightly bigger spotlight last week, wasn't it?
Was it? I didn't notice.
No.
Henderson is back on his feet and is getting the applause as he is forced to go over on that far side. The 7 minutes of added on time are up, so this is just going to be those extra 30-odd seconds which Kelleher will clear away downfield. The one goal separates the two sides, and it is Ouattara on his debut for Brentford with the only goal of the game after 13 minutes that gives them the advantage. They have had another goal since disallowed as Sharda rises in the air, looks for the flick on towards Thiago, cleared away by Tyrone Mings, and there is the half-time whistle. Your quick thoughts, Rob Green?
Yeah, brilliant from Brentford. They're with them. They're with the manager. The work rate was there. They've made it their game. They've made it a scrap. They're going long early. That's where they got the goal from. They'll continue to do that. There's a lot of energy being put out there, not a lot of quality.
But half-time here at the GTEC Community Stadium, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0.
So elsewhere, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Earlier, final score from the Etihad, Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. Earlier in the Championship, Charlton 0, Leicester 1. Hull 0, Blackburn 3, Swansea 1, Watford 1. Let's start our 3 o'clock half-time reports at Carrow Road, where Middlesbrough's 100% record looks like it will continue. Chris Coles.
Courtesy, Mark, of a blistering 2 minutes right at the end of the half. They lead Norwich by 2-0, and half Norwich dominated, missing numerous chances. But then, bang, bang. Firstly, Finn Azaz, powerful shot in at the front post, followed by a Tommy Conway tap-in with the Norwich defence nowhere to be seen. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Mind you, performance of the afternoon so far in the Championship comes from Coventry. Nathan.
Yes, no place like home for Coventry. 5-0 they lead QPR on the day Cov announced they've bought the CBS Arena for themselves. It has been bouncing, Mark. 2 from Haji Wright, 2 from Jack Rodoni, and a goal and 2 assists for Brandon Thomas Asante. The worrying thing for QPR, mind, there's still 45 minutes to play. Half-time, Coventry 5, QPR 0.
Next to St Mary's, Sahel Sahi.
Half-time, Southampton 0, Stoke 0. A closely fought 45 minutes, neither side stamping their authority on the other. Stoke with more control, while Southampton twice through 18-year-old Jay Robinson, they've hit the post. Half-time here, Southampton 0, Stoke 0.
West Brom's 100% record is continuing as things stand. John Bennett.
Yes, thanks to Mikey Johnston. West Bromwich Albion 1, Portsmouth 0. A cracking goal after being recalled to the starting 11. Carried the ball to the edge of the box, fired a shot across the goalkeeper who didn't move. Florian Bianchini had one big chance for Portsmouth, but West Brom the better side, on course for 3 wins out of 3. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 0.
1-0 at the Hawthorns, 1-0 at St Andrews. Pat Murphy.
Peg 5 minutes before half-time. Side foot again, 15 yards. Should have been more. Fuhurashi missed 2 sitters. Brannigan at the other end for stubborn. Oxford nearly pulled one back. Birmingham 1, Oxford 0.
We lumped the Sheffield teams together in our pre-match previews because they both had difficult starts to the season. It continues. Sheffield United behind at the break. Naz Premji.
Yes, Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. The visitors deservedly ahead. Luke Cundle in the box, fired past Michael Cooper after a great flick from Mihailo Ivanovic. Cundle also saw a long-range effort tipped over. Josh Coburn right on half-time, a mazy run and shot which was turned behind. Sheffield United booed off, deservedly so. They've been atrocious. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
Also, not a good first half for Wednesday either. Stephen Wyeth.
Now, a first half to sum up where these clubs are currently at, Mark. Sheffield Wednesday can scarcely put a functioning 11 on the field. Wrexham can add a striker of Kiefer Moore's quality to their team. His first 2 goals for the club, both poachers finishes. The difference between the teams, he even came close to scoring a hat-trick. In between his goals, Charlie McNeil came close for Wednesday during their best spell in the game, but as things stand, it looks like Wrexham's first win at this level for 43 years. They lead 2-0.
Preston also lead at the break. They're at home to Ipswich. Osmaic from the penalty spot. That's his 3rd of the season. Preston 1, Ipswich 0. Earlier in League One, Luton 0, Cardiff 1, Rotherham 2, Wigan 2. We're with the leaders Stevenage this afternoon at Huddersfield. Andy Sixsmith.
Huddersfield 0, Stevenage 0. Tight game. Chappers' best chances falling to the Terriers, with Alfie May denied twice by Philip Marshall, who's also been penalised for holding onto the ball for longer than 8 seconds. But you know, not much has happened when I haven't seen mascot Terry the Terrier once at the break. Huddersfield 0, Stevenage 0.
Elsewhere in League One, AFC Wimbledon lead 3rd place Barnsley by a goal to 0. Matty Stevens with the goal. That's 3 for the season for him. Bolton 0, Lincoln 1. Mansfield a 2-1 up on Leyton Orient. Regan Hendry got both the Mansfield goals. Josh Koroma with his 3rd of the season, pulling one back for Richie Wellens' side. Northampton are 2-0 up on Exeter at the break. That's their first goals in 5 in all competitions. Ethan Wheatley on loan from Manchester United, and Max Dyche, Sean's son, have got the goals for Kevin Nolan's side. Peterborough 0, Bradford 0, Plymouth 0, Blackpool 0, Port Vale 0, Doncaster 0. Stockport are behind at the break to Burton, and it's worse for them as well because they've had Brad Hill sent off for a professional foul. Stockport 0, Burton 1, and Reading have turned things round at Wickham. They've gone from 1-0 down to 2-1 up at the break. Earlier in League 2, Newport 1, MK Dons 2, Walsall 1, Salford 0. How are the leaders' Crew doing at Gillingham? Mike Williams.
They're not capitalising on their dominance in this first half, Mark. Captain Mickey Dimitriou's header coming off the bar. Connor Thomas's close range effort ruled out for offside. It is goalless at the break. Josh Andrews with Gillingham's only shot on target. Remember, Crew can make it 5 wins from 5 with a win here, but they'll have to step it up in the second half. It's 0-0.
Grimsby are chasing them down at the top of the table. They've got Manchester United in the League Cup this week, and it's going well for them this afternoon. The leader, Accrington, by a goal to 0. Jace Cabbier's 4th of the season. The difference between the two sides there, it's Bristol Rovers 1, Cambridge 0, Cheltenham 0, Barnet 0. Colchester, who haven't won at home this season, are behind again after the first 45 minutes to Barrow. Colchester 0, Barrow 1, Crawley 0, Tranmere 0, Fleetwood 1, Oldham 1. It's Harrogate 0, Chesterfield 1. Notts County lead Bromley by 2-1. Matt Dennis has got both of those goals, 4 for the season for him. And Swindon lead Shrewsbury by 1-0. Aaron Drinan with his 2nd of the season. The difference between the two sides there. In the National League, earlier, Morecambe's first game of the season, they beat Altrincham 2-1 with a winner coming in the 8th minute of second half stoppage time at 3 o'clock. The half times, Brackley 1, Rochdale 0, Braintree 0, Yeovil 0, Eastleigh 0, Boston 0, Halifax 1, Forest Green 1, Gateshead lead Tamworth 1-0, Hartlepool are 2-0 up on Woking, Solihull Moors 0, Aldershot 2, Sutton 1, Scunthorpe 1, and Truro 0, Southend 0. In the Scottish Premiership, Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0 at half-time. And at Celtic, Ailey Barber?
Goalless here, and the natives are restless. Celtic with all the ball but unable to break down Livy's compact backline. The best chance came right before the break. Yang's diving header superbly tipped onto the underside of the bar and out. Rodgers doesn't want to go to the bench with a trip to Kazakhstan to come, but he might need to because his side are looking a little blunt. At the break, Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
In the Scottish Championship, Adrionians 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton lead Ayr by 1-0. It's Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1, and St Johnstone will be going to the top of the table as they lead Arbroath by 1-0. In League 1, Alloa 0, Hamilton 0, East Fife 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Inverness 2, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 0. Goalless between Stenhousemuir and Queen of the South. In League 2, Annan 0, Dumbarton 2, Elgin 0, Edinburgh City 2. Goalless between Spartans and Forfar, Stirling 1, East Kilbride 3, and Stranraer 1, Clyde 1. Earlier in the Scottish Women's Premier League, Aberdeen 0, Glasgow City 1. At the Women's Rugby Union World Cup earlier, Australia 73, Samoa 0. They are, 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the second half between Scotland and Wales. Maz Faruqi.
Yeah, we played 53 minutes and it's been a sparkling World Cup opener so far for Scotland wing Fran McGee. Her hat-trick try, Scotland's 4th try of this match, converted by Helen Nelson. And there is work to do for Wales now in a match. Remember, both sides really feel they need to win to try and progress to the knockout stages, with Canada the big dogs really in Pool B. The pressure is on them, and Scotland lead Wales 24-8.
Let's switch our attentions to the cricket. Earlier in the 100, Northern Superchargers women beat Oval Invincibles, and the Northern Superchargers men have set a big total here at Headingley. Nikesh Ragani.
Yeah, batting first. They've set the Invincibles 199 for victory. Some fabulous hitting from them earlier on. Harry Brooks starring with 56 from 27 balls. David Miller with some massive hits towards the end. 37 not out from 16. Good contributions from David Milan and Zach Crawley at the top of the order as well. But the Invincibles have got their chase underway well. They've already hit a couple of boundaries. They're 10 without loss after 4 balls.
Can Southern Braves women keep up their 100% record in the competition? Stephen Finn.
Yeah, well, they're looking good at the moment. They won the toss, bowled first here at Lords, and they restricted the London Spirit to 125 for 8. Lauren Bell only conceding 18 from her 20 balls, and Maddie Villiers taking 3 wickets. And in reply, they've just lost Danny Wyatt Hodge to a close LBW call that was overturned on field to make it out and see the back of her. But the Brave currently are 15 for 1 after 10 balls and looking good to maintain their winning streak.
Matt Fitzpatrick looking good at the British Masters. Ian Carter.
Yes, he is. He's just chipped in for an eagle at the par 5 15th, and that has propelled him to the top of the leaderboard. 12 under par, one ahead of the clubhouse leader. That's Alex Noren, who carded a 65 that included an eagle at the 17th. The star of the day, though, Marco Penge. Is he making a late dash for the Ryder Cup team? He won last week in Denmark. He's equalled the course record today with his 63, and at 10 under is just 2 behind.
4:05, you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live on a Saturday afternoon. Carl Hartley has your news.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Police have had to separate anti-immigration and anti-racism protesters who have clashed at various demonstrations across the country. Dozens of protests have been organised against hotels being used to house asylum seekers. Reform UK has announced plans for mass deportations of asylum seekers arriving in small boats if they get into power. It's understood it would involve leaving the European Convention on Human Rights and scrapping the Human Rights Act. 3 people are in a life-threatening condition after a suspected arson attack in East London. Another 2 were injured in the fire at a restaurant in Ilford. And the Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza say 61 people have died in the territory in the past 24 hours, including 8 from malnutrition. Palestinian media say an Israeli attack on a displacement camp in the southern city of Khan Yunis killed 19 people.
After 4 punishing weeks...
Oh my God, I'm actually excited.
13 players have been on the adventure of a lifetime.
Judging by how the game's gone, they should be pretty worried.
But it all comes down to one final question. Where the X are we?
My eyes are now open to how everyone is playing the game.
Go get real. Destination X, the final. This Thursday on BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Mark Chapman. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Motherwell have got a second at Tynecastle in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts 0, Motherwell 2. Plymouth have taken the lead at home to Blackpool. Next to bottom are Tom Cleverley's side. They've lost their last 4 in the league, but they have got the opening goal of the game against Steve Bruce's Blackpool this afternoon. Coventry have a 6th. Nathan Alban.
A fast start to the first half, a fast start to the second half, Mark. Victor Torp getting in on the act now. The worst possible start to the half for Queen's Park Rangers. Coventry 6, QPR 0.
Earlier in the Premier League, Tottenham won 2-0 at Manchester City. Thomas Frank afterwards spoke to Guy Mowbray.
Very pleased with the result and overall with the performance. I think the first 35 minutes, I think City was slightly on top and were not completely dominating us, but more on top. And I think that goal helped, of course. But a big thing in these games where we're playing against City is top team in any way. Stay in the game, keep doing what you want to do, and then we just got our foot in the game. And I think second half were exceptional in many ways. We kept the high pressure, we went up, was aggressive, we didn't drop in. Of course they push us back sometimes, and we constantly went for the 3-0 goal, which we unfortunately didn't get. Big thing, clean sheet, second clean sheet in a row. Last year we got 6, so that's been a big thing for me, for the players, for the coaches, everything that we need to be aware of that.
Front foot, press, forcing the opposition back, dare I say, quite reminiscent of your win with Brentford here 3 years ago.
Yeah, there's some similarities, yes. I love my former club Brentford, and I'm falling in love with this club here, but there were similarities. This is, of course, a great group of players as well. What they did the last couple of years and last season was, of course, a tough season, but ending on a high. I came into the club and I saw a strong mentality in the players, a strong togetherness, and we just tried to build on that.
Thomas Frank with Guy Mowbray. See all the goals on the BBC Sport website and iPlayer from 8 o'clock. All the analysis and the extended highlights with Kelly and Match of the Day 10:20 tonight on BBC One. Harrogate have got an equaliser at home to Chesterfield. Stephen Duke McKenna with the goal. And that's 3 for the season for him. Simon Weaver's side unbeaten in the league this season. obviously early in the season, still getting used to new players at clubs and stats and just finding our way in. Always important to be able to read your notes, I find, at this stage of the season. Hopefully yours are nice and clear in front of you, Ian.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Mark. And I appreciate the concern.
Sure?
Yes, they are very clean. Thank you.
You definitely haven't spilled the filling of your pie all over them at half-time.
Not on my notes, but I did have a certain spillage. And it's also important to make sure that team unity is as strong as ever at the start of the season. And
always behind you, Deno. Yeah, quietly judging, just always behind you.
There's only one place where any photo would have been sent, and that came from a certain Rob Green. Anyway, we are back underway, and the aforementioned pie has been dispatched. And I can tell you about some goals as well elsewhere. We know obviously that there's been that goal for Coventry, who now lead QPR 6-0. Plymouth 1, Blackpool 0, Harrogate 1, Chesterfield 1. And there's been a goal at Turf Moor in the Premier League, Julia Bold.
It is definitely Burnley 1, Sunderland 0. A lovely back heel from Jayden Anthony, who was in the box. He passed it to Josh Cullen, a curling shot into the back of the net. Burnley 1, Sunderland 0.
We've got a free kick for Brentford. No changes have been made to either side. I'll run through the two teams for you in a moment. But there's a free kick for Brentford. In this second half, they are playing from right to left as we look. Damsgaard to take it just in from the left touch line. Doesn't beat the first man, bounces into the wall of Aston Villa players, and then McGinn has to fight for it, and does well actually to hold off 3 Brentford players. But then Lewis Potter with a quick interception wins it back for Brentford. Ouattara on this left-hand side, and Ouattara down by the corner flag. In the end, the referee blows his whistle. There could be a red card here. Rob Green could be getting sent off, but there has been a red card at Bournemouth. John Akers.
For Wolves. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Totti Gomez, really clumsy. Pushed Evan Nielsen in the back when he was through on goal. In the D, no doubt about it. Had to go. Free kick for Wolves in the D then, right at the start of the second half. We've played 5 minutes. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Bradford City are continuing their excellent start to the season under Graham Alexander. Peterborough United, who are yet to win, have fallen behind at London Road. Peterborough United 0, Bradford City 1. And Celtic, that poor result in the Champions League in midweek, are leading Livingston by a 1-0. And we'll get news of the goal from Ailey Barber.
Perfect start to the second half. Ian Benjamin Negron on the score sheet. It was all about him in the build-up. He found Yang beautifully. Yang's shot saved, but it landed at the feet of Negron, who continued his run to tap into the empty net. Great start to the second half. Celtic 1, Livingston 0.
Remember Hearts, who are this morning's leaders, who had also won both of their opening games, are 2-0 down at home to Motherwell. Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0 is the other latest score. St Mirren Rangers tomorrow. The Old Firm a week tomorrow is live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Port Vale 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. As promised then, the two teams. Brentford, Kelleher in goal. Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg and Lewis Potter at the defence. Yarmulke, Henderson, Damsgaard, Sharda, Thiago and the goal scorer Ouattara. We'll give you the Aston Villa team once we've heard of a goal from John Bennett at West Brom.
An equaliser for Portsmouth. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1. Lovely cross by Josh Murphy and a header from Colby Bishop. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1.
Port Vale 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. Emi Martinez then in goal for Aston Villa. He controls the ball away towards our left, all in lemon yellow. Cash, Torres, Mings and Digne the defence. Tielemans, McGinn, Onana, Rogers, Watkins and Buendia, who was a first half substitute for Camara.
Yeah, so it started the second half in a similar sort of vein, and Brentford watchful, out of possession, happy to sit in now. When they're picking their moments to go, they really go well in numbers, but on the whole, they're sat tucking and letting Villa have the ball because they know that they can't really break them down. So little in the first half.
Buendia running forward. Vandenberg tries to get back at him. He passes the ball into Rogers, and Rogers puts it wide. In fact, it must have got a touch on its way through. It's gone behind for a corner kick where Rogers looked like he was in prime position to equalise.
Yeah, brilliant from Coyote, tracking across, and early in the second half, Villa breaking through, much against what had happened in the first half, but Emi Buendia, the difference maker in that, finding Morgan Rogers across the box and just in the nick of time, a sliding tackle to block the strike.
Not only is Claudia Schiffer here today, but Thomas Tuchel, the England manager, I'm told, is watching inside the GTEC Community Stadium. Rogers to Tielemans. Tielemans shoots, fires in low on that left-hand side of the penalty area, blocked by so many red and white striped shirts for Brentford in that congested penalty area. It's a quick throw taken on the left. Ouattara, that's going to be a foul. He's just left a foot dangling there. He wags his finger in a way of saying to the referee there was no foul whatsoever, but he's caught Digne, and it'll be a free kick, level the penalty area, just in from the touchline on the Villa left as they trail 1-0.
Yeah, roles reversed on that one in the first half, and Luca Digne saying, look, if you're going to dive, this is how you dive, and found the contact and went over. It's naive from Ouattara. Keen, eager to win the ball, but naive, and another set piece. We're looking 5 minutes into the second half. We have set off in a similar vein with the amount of set pieces and long throws.
Tielemans waits to take the free kick on that far side. Austin McPhee, the set-piece coach, watches on. In it goes, flicked off the head of Vandenberg. Schade couldn't control it, goes between his legs. He has to race over to this near side, and he loses out to McGinn, and then the ball did go out of play, says the assistant referee on this near side. As Crawley Town 0, Tranmere Rovers 1 is the latest score in League 2. But in fact, it is going to be an Aston Villa throw. Last touch came off Schade. Aston Villa supporters in the corner making the noise, hoping to see their side level. No other goals around the country to tell you about. In it goes. Good header out by Thiago under pressure. Runs off the shins of Tielemans. Hit back in by Digne. Mings with his header. Headed away by Collins. Volleyed back in by McGinn. Collins again is there. He's had a fine game at the heart of that Brentford defence as Nathan Collins. Cash steers it into the path of McGinn. McGinn curls it. Rodgers, cushion header. Here is Buendia, and the overhead kick off target as he slams his fist in annoyance down into the ground. It was Norwich City 0, Middlesbrough 2. There's been developments. They're sending off. Chris Coles.
Norwich are down to 10 men, trailing 2-0, and now a man down. Jacob Wright, straight red card, loose touch, and he went clattering in to Aidan Morris to try and make amends. It was high, reckless, and the red justified. Norwich 0, Middlesbrough 2. Norwich down to 10 men.
Middlesbrough, who are yet to concede in the Championship this season. So Brentford have a slender lead. After Sports Report, coming up with Mark Chapman, the results and all the reaction. We'll have commentary of Arsenal against Leeds United at 5:30 from the Emirates with John Murray and Andy Reid. Then it's Chris Sutton taking your calls on 606 with Natalie Pike, 08085909693. 693. Tomorrow's Five Lives Premier League Sunday from midday at Everton's new stadium. Everton against Brighton. Commentary from 2. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, which will be a spicy affair, will be on Sports Extra. Fulham, Manchester United at 4:30. Next week we have live League Cup action on Tuesday and Wednesday to bring you. As Rodgers, here for Aston Villa, caught in possession by Coyote on the Brentford left, and as he runs forward, Rodgers runs back, and then Rodgers battling for it was being fouled, and he gets a free kick for his efforts.
That battle lasted about 40 yards across the pitch, and then they started back across the other way across the pitch, and eventually one of them had to foul the other, and Morgan Rodgers got it. But it's a real battle out there all over the pitch. Individual battles as a team, a lot of sacrificing going on.
Digne unable to get onto the end of that ball that was passed forward on the left-hand side. Celtic, who are leading Livingston by 1-0, will be 3 points clear of Hearts, who've just conceded a third at Tynecastle to Motherwell. Motherwell, who have enjoyed a fine start to the season, they are unbeaten. But for Rangers, they will find themselves 7 points behind Celtic, albeit with that game in hand at St Mirren tomorrow. A goal at Southampton in the Championship, Sahel Sahi.
And the Championship leaders at 3 p.m. are leading. It's Southampton 0, Stoke 1, across from the left. It was partially saved. It rolled out to Lewis Baker, and he sliced it home from 8 yards away. Southampton 0, Stoke 1.
BBC Radio 5 live here at Brentford. Aston Villa still trailing to that 13th minute goal from Ouattara. Brentford looking to protect this excellent home record that they've got in their top flight history, and I'm not just talking about when they've been promoted to the Premier League since 2021. They have never lost on their opening fixture of a top flight season on the 9 previous occasions. as Buendia comes forward and shoots wide, and it will be a goal kick. They've won 7 and they've drawn 2, and they've scored 2 and all of those occasions as well. Harry Curtis, 5 times as a manager in the 30s and that one season in the 40s, and Thomas Frank, of course, who did such an excellent job and continues to work wonders now at Tottenham, who beat Manchester City by 2-0 earlier. And in fact, Thomas Frank, only the 3rd manager to beat Pep Guardiola in the league with 2 different clubs, along with Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte.
Well, Keith Andrews, it's only his 2nd game in charge, is looking to emulate what Thomas Frank has done, and he's got a team that's really fighting for him here, and actually fighting amongst themselves. 2 centre-halves and the 2 midfielders having a proper tear-up in there with each other over who should step out, who should step into midfield. In the end, I think it was Vandenberg getting the yellow card for eventually, I think, delaying the game or arguing a bit too much with the referee.
So Vandenberg booked by referee Tony Harrington. Mansfield Town 3, Leyton Orient 1. Let's get an update from Burnley. Julia Bold.
Yeah, it's still Burnley 1, Sunderland 0, but we have had a pause in play for a couple of minutes while there was an issue with one of the floodlights. It seems to be okay right now because play has restarted. Still Burnley 1-0 up.
Thank you, Julia. Commentary of that is on Sports Extra, as this is 5 Live, the World Service, and the BBC Sounds app. Aston Villa, they mustered only 3 shots against Newcastle, the fewest since they registered just 2 against Brighton and Hove Albion in May of 2024. They've had a lot of possession, but I don't really recall Quiveen Kelleher being seriously tested. However, Watkins is forward now, and Watkins with a cutback. Onana tries to place the effort, opening up his right boot on the edge of the area, and then he goes through the back of Jordan Henderson, and that'll be a yellow card for Amadou Onana.
He's made some strange decisions today, Tony Harrington. That one is fairly self-explanatory. I don't think how he's got any range to argue. But again, Villa just starting to open up Brentford now. A couple of times the balls into midfield have come through. That was time on the edge of the box. Buendia had it a moment ago, and then it was Onana's time on the edge of the box to get a shot away. Neither of them executed them well.
Leyton Orient trailing 3-1 at Mansfield are down to 10 men. Hearts have got a goal back. Hearts 1, Motherwell 3 in the Scottish Premiership. Sheffield Wednesday have reduced the arrears through Barry Bannon. Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. It's Cheltenham 0, Barnet 1 as the latest score in League 2. You're up to date. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. As the ball will go behind, it'll be a goal kick for Aston Villa away towards our left. Where will we go next then on 5 Live? It's Scotland-Wales and the Women's Rugby Union World Cup. Mas Faruqi.
And a try for Scotland's number 8 now, Evie Gallagher. It was her birthday yesterday. She might have sealed an opening win for Scotland at this World Cup today. Helen Nelson has added the conversion as well. So it's Scotland 31, Wales 8, 69 minutes played now.
Goal kick taken short. Thank you, Maz. Commentary of that continues on Sports Extra 2. A streaming service available through the BBC Sounds app as Cash turns, met by the volley of Vandenberg. Out it goes for a throw, midway through the Aston Villa half. Team news now from Arsenal for our 5:30 commentary from John Murray.
And there'll be a full Premier League debut for Arsenal for Noni Madueke with Martinelli on the bench. Timber starts for the injured Ben White in Arsenal's other change. One change for Leeds. Gruev plays in midfield with Ampadu out injured. Their latest signing, Noah Okafor's a sub. And Ian, 15-year-old Max Dowman's on the Arsenal bench.
Well, he was one of my players to look out for, and we did a preview on the BBC Sport website. We've heard so many positive things about Max Dowman. Declan Rice was telling me back in March that he was the real deal. Let's get news of that Sheffield Wednesday goal from Steve Wyatt.
A deserved goal back scored by Barry Bannon because Wrexham have been complacent protecting what was a 2-0 lead, and as Wednesday attacked down the right hand side, Wrexham didn't clear and Bannon was the player there to tuck in the loose ball. The Sheffield Wednesday fans have gone from protesting the owner to celebrating their team. Game on, Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1.
Stoke City might be leading by a 0 at Southampton. However, they're going to have to finish the game with 10 men. Sahel Sahi.
They've got 30 minutes to do so. Divine Mubama, who's on loan from Manchester City with a second yellow card. He went round the goalkeeper, Kevin Bazunu. The referee says he dived. Not quite sure. I think the goalkeeper got a touch. But anyway, Southampton 0, 10-man Stoke 1.
Just over half an hour remaining then here at the GTEC Community Stadium, where Brentford still lead by 1-0. Mings comes forward, he tries to push Cash on ahead of him and then actually goes the other way and goes out to Pau Torres. Digne, the left back, is quite high up on that pitch, and here he is now running forward. His ball inside finds Tielemans. Tielemans now passes the ball along the ground. McGinn controls it, right corner of the area. McGinn opens this one up. This is Onana, and he's going to shoot low, left-footed, going through a crowd of players. Comfortable save for the keeper, Kelleher.
Yeah, comfortable. And you're looking at Brentford, they've dropped back into a back five again. And you're thinking, you're going to have to do something quite special from there. Onana, and it's on his weaker foot, and he had no conviction over the strike whatsoever. Aston Villa, it's about time with 30 minutes to go. Unai Emery's going to look to the bench. He's not got many attacking options, but certainly a couple of the bigger hitters of Aston Villa on there are attacking ones.
Well, Daniel Marlon, Evan Gesand as another potential option. The Ivorian, and there is activity down below, and yet another goal at Coventry. Nathan Alban.
It's 7, it's heaven for Coventry City. Victor Torp letting fly from what must have been 35 yards, curling one into the far corner. Coventry 7, QPR 0.
I won't ask you about that, Rob. Here is, although I should, after your antics at half-time, Vandenberg goes forward, Mings cuts it out. This is McGinn. So we're going to see Daniel Marlon and Ian Matson, who are going to be the two players coming on for Aston Villa in an attempt to try and salvage something from this game. When they failed to score last week, that was only the second time under Unai Emery that they'd failed to score in back-to-back games. I think Manchester United at the end of last season, and then Newcastle last weekend. The last time that they failed to score in 3 successive games was Dean Smith, former Brentford manager, in July 2020. Brentford then still have that slender lead, but Cash wins the ball against Sharda. Unai Emery pointing, animated as ever, all in black in the technical area. Austin McPhee giving the final instructions to the two substitutes coming on. McGinn on this near side, the right, passes the ball to Cash. A wave of the right hand, a flick of the wrist by Unai Emery. He wants McGinn to provide the width on this near side, but instead they go across the back and out towards that other side, the left. Brentford have retreated, they've dropped off, but it is still by 1-0 that they lead. Wimbledon 2, Barnsley 0 is the latest score. And a goal at Huddersfield, Andy Sixsmith.
Huddersfield 1, Stevenage 0. League One cheat called Alfie May. First shot was blocked, second shot dispatched into the bottom corner. Huddersfield 1, Stevenage 0.
Top scorers, I think, aren't they? Huddersfield Town in League One. That takes them into double figures already for the season. Accrington Stanley have got an equaliser. Accrington Stanley 1, Grimsby Town 1. We'll be at Grimsby on Wednesday night against Manchester United at Blundell Park for that League Cup tie after the Yorkshire derby 24 hours earlier at Hillsborough between Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds United, as Damsgaard intercepts on the edge of his own penalty area, hits a ball. It was a weighted ball towards Ouattara, couldn't control it, comes towards Pau Torres, and Brentford lose possession, and Aston Villa will come again. And we've got about just over 25 minutes remaining. Cash, Villa are coming on strong. McGinn, right hand side with the cross, and the header from Rodgers is over the top. And there's no other goals to tell you about, but we will go to Bournemouth and John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. We are midway through the second half, and there's a debut for Bournemouth. Adley, who's just come on for Brooks. Christie, back from injury, is also on for Bournemouth, who are on top. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Ian Matson is going to come on for Luca Digne, and Daniel Marlon will replace Amadou Onana in the midfield. They're the two changes as far as Aston Villa are concerned, as play will get back underway with Quevin Kelleher to take the goal kick. 63 minutes played. Red card at the Hawthorns, John Bennett.
To the West Brom manager, Ryan Mason. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1. Mason unhappy that a penalty wasn't given to his team, and unhappy that Regan Poole, the Portsmouth defender, wasn't sent off. He's furious. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1.
Marston's forward ball blocked by the back of Henderson. They go long. Collins again will head it away. He's had a very good game at the back, hasn't he, Collins?
Been immense. Just the spine. Vandenberg, him, Henderson, fantastic in there.
Here is Sharda, meanwhile, dinks it through. Thiago to try and get on the end of it. Martinez quickly off his goal line. Brentford haven't had too many moments in the second half. That could have been a potential opening for them.
Well, they barely had a kick in the Villa half at all, but when they do, they get an opening. The amount of passes Aston Villa have had in the Brentford half, with just searching for an opening, something, somewhere. It's been so well marshalled in there that they've had nothing. Then all of a sudden, Brentford go through. It's good goalkeeping because he actually went against the legs of Thiago to again guarantee that he was winning the ball. Brave goalkeeping from Martinez.
This venue last season in the Premier League witnessed more goals than any other ground. There were 75 goals scored, 40 in favour of Brentford, 35 against. There won't be many complaints, though, if it stays like this from a Brentford supporter, as just the one might give them the perfect tonic of 3 points to bounce back from that defeat last week against Nottingham Forest. Stockport County got an equaliser at home to Burton Albion. Stockport County 1, Burton Albion 1. Vandenberg at the back for Brendan. Exchanges passes with Yarmouk. Jordan Henderson passes the ball towards Collins. Collins then hits it out from the back. Ian Matson there will stop it. This is Pau Torres, prods it into the centre circle for McGinn. He's gone into a more central area as Daniel Marlon has come on. Marlon is now ahead of him. Watkins wants the ball to feet. McGinn plays the ball out wide. And joining the attack on that far side is Ian Matson. Now Torres can come forward. Pau Torres to Buendia. First half substitute. Challenge comes in though from Coyote. Unable to hold on to it though with Brentford. Tielemans tells Cash to go out wide. And this is Marlon on the right. Lewis Potter back pedals, tries to thread it into the penalty area. Blocked by the hard-working Yarmouk. Keeps the ball in play as well. And now here is Lewis Potter. Will hit it up towards Thiago. Holds off the challenge of Tyrone Mings. Had to go all alone really, didn't he?
Yeah, he's smiling to himself. He knows he hasn't got a chance, surrounded by 4 players. And this is now the danger for Brentford, is they are camped in. They've got 5 at the back. They're stepping in onto Watkins, onto Rodgers, onto Buendia whenever they can, just to deny that space. But that flat back 5 cannot get out now.
Here's Buendia. We're talking of reinforcements. Frank the Tank, Frank Onyeka is going to be coming on, and Jordan Henderson will be the player going off. Jordan Henderson, who came on for the last 21 minutes against Nottingham Forest last week, he's now going to be going off with 24 minutes remaining. And the Nigerian international, ball-winning midfielder, will be coming on for Brentford, who maybe are having to show a little bit resilience here to hang on, because Aston Villa are dominating in this second half without creating clear-cut opportunities.
Yeah, 1 or 2 they broke through early on in this second half, but ever since Brentford have closed ranks, it's been so difficult to get any sort of space, any sort of opportunity. It's been so well drilled. You have to give him credit. Jordan Henderson, you think his race has run, he's covered so much ground, won so many balls in there. They've been brilliant defensively so far, Brentford. It's going to be another long 23 minutes for them, though.
Jordan Henderson, for the time being, remains. He's still chasing lost causes, still barking out the instructions, and I'm sure we'll hope that he is in part of Thomas Tuchel's squad that is named later in the week for the games against Andorra, to be held actually at Villa Park, as a cross comes in, cut out then on that far side, back towards Tielemans, and also the trip to Serbia for the game in Belgrade, as Brentford now can break, and Damsgaard towards Thiago. Thiago running forward. Sharda is running through unmarked, and Thiago gets his head up and he finds Sharda, takes it in his stride, runs in towards the penalty area left-hand side, but the cross on the run drifts left-footed behind and out for a goal kick, and it's still Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, as Hearts are staging a fight back in the Scottish Premiership. Hearts 2, Motherwell 3.
Well, it's length of the pitch there from Brentford, and it was such a tired swing of the leg from Sharda. He'd given everything just to get up in support. Took a touch, took a look, found his man, and then his legs just gave up on him. He's starting to have a look around and seeing some tired bodies now that Brentford have put so much on the line here.
84 caps for his country, and he's getting a standing ovation on his home debut here at Brentford. And he turns and applauds to all sides of the G-Tech Community Stadium. Jordan Henderson back in English football, back in red and white stripes, and gets a hearty pat on the back too from Keith Andrews as Onyeka comes on to replace him. But Aston Villa have had 78 possession in terms of this game. They've only had 2 shots on target.
Yeah, and it's been painfully obvious where they've struggled in terms of creativity. There's a big Asensio-shaped hole in this team in terms of goals, in terms of creativity, in terms of a bit of magic. There's still time in the transfer window. Unai Emery needs to work some magic, because there isn't anything on show right now where you think it's going to have any difference.
Ball goes long from Mings. Onto it is Watkins. Watkins shoots, blocked. Loose ball will run towards Yarmouk. Caught by McGinn, and then he runs and follows through. And then with a foul, catches Onyeka. Talking of the transfer window, Johan Wissa, who has been training with the group this week for Brentford, isn't here today. If that deal isn't done by, I would say, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, there is a school of thought that Brentford then might not sanction that move, because they still need time to find a replacement if he is to go through to Newcastle United. He does have 2 years left on his contract, so they are operating in that sense from a position of strength. Colchester United 0, Barrow 2 is the latest score in League 2. Deadline day is a week on Monday. And Steve Clarke is here today as well, the Scottish manager, as Onyeka just tidies up in the midfield. We've got 20 minutes remaining. Still the one goal between the two sides, and Celtic have doubled their lead. Ailey Barber.
We have a VAR check on the goal, Ian, but Benjamin Nygren with his second of the afternoon as things stand to give Celtic a comfortable lead, and I'm sure another victory on all 3 points. The goal is given, so it is Celtic 2, Livingston 0.
Well, that will give them a boost before the long trek to Kazakhstan for the return leg of that Champions League playoff game. As the ball from Coyote does well, keeps the ball in play, runs forward, crowd like that. Damsgaard now, Coyote's gone on ahead of him. And Damsgaard, is he fouled by Tielemans? Yes, he was. Free kick, respite for Brentford, 1-0 they lead.
Respite, and it's well received by the Brentford fans. Morgan Rogers just got turned inside out by Cody on the touchline. Brilliant turn, and that was enough for Unai Emery. Immediately spun round to shout to the bench and say, the changes are coming, let's do it. And they need a change of something, because it's becoming very, very flat from them.
Don't forget, at 8 o'clock on the BBC iPlayer and the BBC website and app, you're able to view the highlights of all of the games in the Premier League from 8. But Match of the Day with extended highlights with Kelly Cates at 10:20 on BBC One tonight, and the analysis. As Damsgaard stands over this free kick. Not quite level with the penalty area on that far side, the right, playing from right to left. No other goals to tell you about. Remember, in the Premier League, Bournemouth lead Wolves 1-0. Burnley lead Sunderland by a goal to 0. And it comes from Damsgaard, dipping free kick, headed out by Maatsen. It's going to be collected by Yarmouk. Yarmouk now right-footed, curling high ball, dropping in towards the penalty area. Touch back towards Damsgaard, lifts it high into the air. Collins heads it back into the crowded area. Acrobatic clearance by Buendia. It was almost like a jarred fall to the floor on his backside from Buendia. As eventually Coyote goes all the way back to the former Liverpool goalkeeper Quaveen Kelleher. 9 clean sheets in 20 appearances for Liverpool last season. And here he is now to clear his lines, all in green, away towards our right. Mings barged into by Thiago. Thiago goes down holding his head. I would imagine that Tony Harrington, no, he's not going to stop play, because to his credit, Thiago is quickly back to his feet. As Stockport County have come from behind and lead Burton Albion now by 2-1 in League One.
It's gone scrappy again. It's gone wasteful, and Brentford will not care one jot and say, let's just kick it end to end.
Daniel Marlin, who has now switched sides, he's operating on the left, coming forward. Villa are going to make another change. Bogard is going to be coming on. McGinn will be the player going off. So the Dutch youth international, the nephew of the former Chelsea defender Winston, and also Buendia, the substitute, is going to be substituted. Evan Guessant, the French, the Ivory Coast international, is going to be coming on for his debut. Signed from Nice in the summer for £26 million. Apart from that, he's got some untried youngsters on the bench.
Oh, this is it. This is it for Villa. This is everything they have right now today coming onto the pitch. There's just kids and goalkeepers on the bench. And it's a worrying sign for Unai Emery, that the lack of options that they do have coming round in the team.
Mentioned Stockport leading 2-1, Harrogate 1, Chesterfield 2 is the latest score in League 2. Crawley 0, Tranmere Rovers 2. Barnet are down to 10 men now in League 2 as well. They're still leading by a goal to 0 away at Cheltenham, and you're up to date with the goals as they go in. Thing is, for Villa, they've been restricted by the financial rules. They had that £9.5 million UEFA fine, so they've got to basically have a positive transfer balance to avoid a further fine from UEFA. but with the Europa League, there is the potential for this Villa side. They could be playing 60 games this season.
Yeah, it's a real concern. And you're saying maybe loans, maybe a couple of loan players in. They've obviously had real impact players in Asensio and Rashford last season to create a difference. That's what they're dealing with now, it seems. But Gessan has come on, and he will come on that left-hand side. He loves to drift in and drive in onto his right foot.
Here is Gessan. Gessan with a shot. I can tell you that Emi Buendia was not happy at all about being substituted. Brentford try to get Thiago forward. Let's go to Sahel Sahi at Southampton.
Southampton 0, Stoke 2. Route 1 football is back. Johansson with a long throw, the goalkeeper over the halfway line to Sorba Thomas. He raced to the edge of the area and a left-footed arrowed finish. Southampton 0, 10-man Stoke City 2.
Hearts was 3-0 down at home to Motherwell. Now at Tynecastle, it is Hearts 3, Motherwell 3, and Wrexham were 2-0 up. However, Steve Wyeth,
it is now Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. It's no more than the visitors deserve. Barry Bannon with the goal that gave them hope, and another attack down the right-hand side across into the path of Bailey Kadamatri, who swept it home with venom from 12 yards out. They deserve it, Sheffield Wednesday, they really do. It's been a spirited fight back. Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2.
Celtic have got a third goal at home to Livingston. Celtic 3, Livingston 0. I'll rattle through all the latest scores in all the divisions very, very soon. As Damsgaard looks towards Sharda, that'll run through. They've had to sit in for large periods of this second half of Brentford, but they lead by a goal to 0. Back to the Premier League and John Akers at Bournemouth.
Bournemouth 1, 10-man Wolves 0. A change for Bournemouth, and back into the action is Justin Kluivert, been out with injury. It's a welcome return. Bournemouth on top here. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Burnley still leads Sunderland by a goal to 0. Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Tielemans goes long in the air towards Cash. Lewis Potter, the Brentford left back, gets his head onto it. Cash then has the ball at his feet, tries to keep the ball in play, succeeds, but only passes the ball towards Sharda, who will go up towards Damsgaard. Headed away by Torres, but Damsgaard gets that loose ball and then touches it towards Ouattara, back towards Damsgaard. Damsgaard switches play now towards Thiago. Ouattara's going on ahead of him. Thiago, though, will shoot, and off the block from Mings, it's diverted behind. But in fact, it can't have gone through off Mings. It's gone wide, actually, and it will be a goal kick. Full time in the Rugby Union World Cup, Mas Faruqi.
And what a performance from a squad of players dealing with so much uncertainty. Scotland was 6 tries, amongst those a hat-trick for Fran McGee, and it's a big step towards the knockout stages for a side who were eliminated at the pool stage 3 years ago. Full time, Scotland 38, Wales 8.
Thanks, Mas. 13 minutes to go. This is Gessan into the penalty area for Aston Villa. Block comes in, corner kick, Rob Green.
Well, again, really well defended by Brentford. Everybody putting themselves on the line. But at the other end, Thiago, there was no control over that shot. But it was the best opening that either team have had in this second half. You're thinking you got 2-on-1, execute it well, lay off the pass to Ouattara. He didn't. It's a wasteful opportunity.
Corner is taken short for Aston Villa on that far side, the left. The ball is then passed out towards Tielemans, who clips it in. Headed up in the air by Ouattara. Torres gets his head onto it too. Won't drop towards Bogart. Shot comes in from Maatsen. Down into the ground, and Brentford are able to get the ball away. Let's get news of that Celtic third goal from Ailey Barber.
A great ball fired across the face of goal. Daizan Maeda, and there was Johnny Kenny. Good movement to get on the end of it and knock it past Prier. The 3 points are staying in Glasgow. It is Celtic 3, Livingston 0.
Hearts 3, Motherwell 3, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. So Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0 is a latest score. Aaron Hickey is going to be coming on. He's going to get a run out for the last 12 minutes. A goal at Southampton, Sahel Sahi.
Southampton are back in the game. Southampton 1, Stoke 2, direct from a corner. Harwood Bellis with the header 6 yards away. Southampton 1, 10-man Stoke 2.
So Aaron Hickey is coming on. And it's going to be Jensen as well, who's also going to be coming on. It's going to be a double change being made for the home side. It's just a question of whether they can get over the line. Yarmuluk is one of the players coming off. Julia Bold at Turf Moor, what's the latest?
It's still Burnley 1, Sunderland 0, but Burnley have had a couple of good chances to try and double the lead through Brynlarsen and Hartman. Sunderland have made 4 changes to get back into it. Still Burnley 1, Sunderland 0.
So Hickey and Jensen are on. Yarmuluk and Sharda are the players who have gone off. Brentford still lead by a goal to nil. 11 minutes remaining. BBC Radio 5 live in the World Service here in West London. A goal at Norwich in the Championship. Chris Coles.
Hope for the 10 men of Norwich. They have one back. Scored by Josh Sargent. Played through. Nice little lob over the goalkeeper. 10-man Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 2.
Josh Sargent has scored now in all 4 games for Norwich this season. Thiago forward. Little ball out towards Damsgaard, but dispossessed by Maatsen running back for left back, the substitute for Aston Villa, who now have got an opportunity to come forward, driving forward from midway through their own half, and they find Rodgers. Diagonal ball towards Watkins. Watkins comes to the edge of the area, goes on the outside of Lewis Potter, stumbles, has a chance to look round, passes the ball back towards Bogard. Bogard has Cash coming on the outside of him. Watkins has also stayed forward, right corner of the area. They too exchange the ball, and then Cash has stayed out wide, and here he is. Cash right corner of the box, back in towards Bogard, looking to try and keep their shape at Brentford. Rodgers in the penalty area, tries to pass the ball towards the far post, well claimed by Kelleher. Right, the results in League 2 earlier: Newport County 1, MK Dons 2, Walsall beat Salford by a goal to nil. These are the latest scores. Accrington 1, Grimsby 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Cambridge United 0, Cheltenham 0, the 10 men of Barnet 1, Colchester United 0, Barrow 2, Crawley 0, Tranmere 2, Fleetwood 1, Oldham 1, Gillingham and Crewe 0-0, Harrogate 1, Chesterfield 2. That could be the end of Harrogate's unbeaten start to the season. Notts County 2, Bromley 2, Swindon Town leads Shrewsbury by a goal to nil. Rob Green.
And breathe. Well done. Well, it's just a case of keep getting the breath in for Brentford. They're very much in a back 5 now.
Daniel Marlin went to shoot, looked like he'd miskicked it, didn't lose control of the ball though, able to take it away from Lewis Potter. Cash again provides the support, in comes the cutback in towards the penalty area. Watkins couldn't stab it goalwards, and it's cleared away by Ouattara. It's backs to the wall for Brentford.
Yeah, it's all hands to the pump now. It's just bodies in front of the goal. Lewis Potter's showing signs of tiredness. They're now down to a back 6. Ouattara's sat in there. Just tell you what, this is a red and white wall. You try and get through us.
Mings, edge of the centre circle in the Brentford half, touches it to his left for Pau Torres. We have just over 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Bogard goes out wide. Cash has stayed forward and quite high on this near side the right, playing from left to right as we look. Bogard, everybody is in that final third for Brentford, disciplined as ever. Here now is Pau Torres. Can they find a way through? Can they find the penetration? Here is Bogard. Daniel Marlin back towards Rodgers, links up with Watkins, bounces away from him, and then Collins, who, as Rob Green says, has been immense, just steps forward, holds on to it, and then Thiago inexplicably gives it away, but the referee said there was a foul, shirt pulling. There's been a goal at Gillingham. Mike Williams in League 2.
Gillingham 1, Crewe 0. The leaders behind here in the 89th minute. A goalmouth scramble saw Sam Gale stab it home for the home side. Crewe were looking to make it 5 wins from 5, but it looks like they're going to lose for the first time this season. Gillingham 1, Crewe 0.
Bradford City have conceded late at London Road. Peterborough United with an injury time equaliser in League 1. Peterborough United 1, Bradford City 1. The results earlier on, Christopher Ayer looks like he's going to be coming on as well for Brentford. The results in League 1, Luton Town 0, Cardiff 1, Rotherham 2, Wigan 2. These are the latest scores. Wimbledon 2, Barnsley 0, Bolton 0, Lincoln 1, Huddersfield 1, Stevenage 0, Mansfield 3, Leyton Orient 1. Leyton Orient are down to 10 men. Northampton Town, who hadn't scored in their last 4 games, going to be getting their first win of the season. They lead Exeter by 2-0. Peterborough 1, Bradford 1. Plymouth lead Blackpool by a goal to nil. Port Vale 0, Doncaster 1. Stockport, despite being down to 10 men, have come from behind to lead Burton Albion by 2-1. And Wycombe 1, Reading 2. Championship scores to come very, very soon. Cash, meanwhile, strong run forward on this right-hand side. Cut out, though, and thwarted by Lewis Potter. Brentford clear. Loose ball picked up by Lewis Potter. Gets away from Tielemans. And then manages, was he, to nudge it out towards Thiago? Well, he was before he was fouled by Bogard. That'll be a free kick. Lewis Potter did well.
Brilliant moment of the match for him. He's made that left-back position time and time again. Such an exciting young prospect. He's had to fill in there all last season pretty much, and now again going back in there today. He's done a brilliant job, as have every one of these Brentford players defensively.
Dango Ouattara, the club record signing, and on his debut, the potential match winner. is going to be coming off. It is going to be a double change for Brentford. Further defensive reinforcements with Rico Henry and Christopher Ayer, the players who are going to be coming on. Coyote is the other player who is going to be going off for Brentford. And we have 6 minutes of normal time remaining.
Another centre-back coming on to shore up that back five, which becomes a back six, and left-back coming on to even bolster it up even more. So, statement of intent here from Brentford. You're saying 5 minutes to go, let's see it through.
Could it be a winning start for Keith Andrews? He's edging ever closer to doing just that. As Aston Villa try and deal with the latest Brentford attack up towards Daniel Marlin. Substitutes bedding in, very animated as ever, watching and living and kicking every bit of action. With his assistants is Keith Andrews. These are the results in the Championship, incidentally, from earlier. Charlton 0, Leicester City 1, Hull City 0, Blackburn Rovers 3. Swansea 1, Watford 1. These are the latest scores. Birmingham lead Oxford by a goal to 0. Norwich 1, Middlesbrough 2. Norwich are down to 10 men. Preston 1, Ipswich 0. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Sheffield United still pointless and bottom. Southampton 1, the 10 men of Stoke City 2. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1. Wrexham, who were 2-0 up, now 2-2 against Sheffield Wednesday. And the game I've left out is with good reason, because there's been yet another goal for Nathan Alban.
The comeback is on, Ian. Coventry 7, QPR 1. Finally something for the QPR fans to cheer about. A first goal for the club for Richard Kone. Ball to the back post was kept in play, and Richard Kone couldn't miss from just a few yards out. Coventry 7, QPR 1.
In the Premier League earlier, Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. Bournemouth lead Wolves by a goal to 0. Wolves are down to 10 men. Brentford here lead by a goal to 0. And another goal at Turf Moor. Julia Bolt.
And it's Burnley 2, Sunderland 0. Jayden Anthony on the score sheet with a superb effort here. It's looking good for Burnley. Burnley 2, Sunderland 0.
Not only that, for Burnley, after 21 consecutive Premier League games without a clean sheet, that statistic could be getting changed, as well as their valuable 3 points here today. But we're still playing here, and there's no other goals to tell you about elsewhere around the country. And we have some 4 minutes remaining of normal time. This is Ayer. Just dinks the ball down the side on that right touch line towards Damsgaard. First attempt to play it further forward was blocked. Pau Torres for Aston Villa, midway through the Villa half. Stroked back towards Torres by Tielemans. The full-time scores are coming in, and I noticed that Barnsley have lost their unbeaten start to the season. They've fallen 2-0 at AFC Wimbledon. Here is Bogard for Aston Villa. 3.5 minutes remaining. Bogard now towards Torres. Gessan goes out wide on that right-hand side. Still can't recall Keller had been seriously tested, Rob.
No, not at all, and there's no real moments of overwhelming concern for Brentford in there either. Yes, they've been under pressure, as they are now, but they've seen everything through.
Protected very, very well by that Brentford defence. Let's go to Bournemouth. John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, the 10 men of Wolves 0. We've got 5 minutes of 6 added remaining for Wolves to get something out of this game, but Bournemouth controlling possession here. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Possibly the best effort for Villa as a cross comes in. Again, Collins gets his head on it to clear it away. Was that effort from McGinn in the first half with the legs of Kelleher. Hearts unable to get the 3 points. They did fight back from 3-0 down, but they finished 3-3 against Motherwell at Tynecastle in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic were 3-0 up against Livingston the last we heard. Here is Tielemans towards Maatsen. Gessan stays out wide on that far side, the left. We have just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining. Sheffield United have lost again. Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1. Ball is passed out by Mings to Cash, inside to Daniel Marlin. Drops his shoulder, runs in field. Patrolled though and tracked by a number of red and white striped shirts who are just sitting in and around their own penalty area for Brentford. And Villa just can't find a way through. Here is Gessan once again. Left hand side. Does a little step over. Comes on one challenge, tries to get past another one, delivers a low ball into the box, and then Ayer is the one to sweep the ball to safety. Coventry 7, Queen's Park Rangers 1 is a full-time score, and Mings might just have picked up a slight injury here.
Yeah, just innocuous running back towards get the ball, and whether it's a hamstring or a little tweak of the knee, but again another attack from Aston Villa, and there's so little movement off the ball in behind. There's not a lot of space in behind, but no one's making any runs, no one's making any Is there any difference really to turn heads, to make a difference to the Brentford back line? You might not get the ball, but you need to make a difference.
Cross comes in from the left. Watkins with a downward header down into the ground as there's a stoppage in play due to a head injury to a Brentford player who I actually can't quite make out because he's covering his head with his hands. Collins.
Yep.
Well, I'm not surprised. He's been in the thick of it throughout. Mansfield Town 4, Leyton Orient 1 is the latest score. Wrexham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2 is how it finished. Swindon Town might have got a last minute, but an injury time winner. Swindon Town 2, Shrewsbury 1 is the latest score in League 2. And we are about to find out how much added time there will be. As I now see a shot of Claudia Schiffer. She's actually wearing a Brentford shirt. Brentford fan, of course.
Modelling it well.
With the sunglasses as well. Well, you'd expect that she would, wouldn't you? We'll see how much added on time there will be. 4 minutes that we will have here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. It's a slender lead. And Aston Villa, 5 minutes. They've added an extra one on. Damsgaard picks it up. We're into the 5 minutes now here. Damsgaard still running. Damsgaard towards Thiago. Tries to bundle it goalwards. Martinez was quickly off his goal line. And it will, I think he was offside anyway. Free kick to Aston Villa taken quickly.
He just ran out of road there. Thiago made the run a fraction too early. But Brentford, they won't mind. You just wonder, that soft disallowed goal in the first half, Emi Martinez, how much they'd like this to be a 2-0 lead now. That little bit of comfort that they've got would have had if with a 2-0 lead. You're thinking they could have been making plans for the week in the League Cup, plans for the rest of the season with 3 points, and what a big win this would be.
Bolton Wanderers have got a 97th minute equaliser in League One at home to Lincoln City. Bolton 1, Lincoln City 1. Cash for Aston Villa. We're in the 92nd minute of this game here in West London. And Brentford, who so strong at home.
They're 1-0 down, and it's at walking pace.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do.
The crowd whip up the noise and the volume inside the G-Tech Community Stadium to try and carry their players over the line. Mings goes forward, cut out again by Collins. He has been absolutely outstanding at the heart of that Brentford defence as Nathan Collins. Guessin tries to stumble his way forward, keeps his balance eventually. Down though and outnumbered. Hickey gets the foot into the challenge. You know, last season, Aston Villa, 9 of their 10 defeats in the Premier League came on the road. It was the most of any away defeats of any side in the top half of the table. And here, lacking creativity.
Yeah, and you saw it last week, and now when they go a goal down, everyone in the Premier League will be watching this saying, you just need to nick a goal, that's all you need to do.
Damsgaard will run the ball forward for Brentford. Down the touchline he goes on that right-hand side. We'll go to John Bennett at the Hawthorns, West Brom Portsmouth.
Finish 1-1. West Brom's winning start to the season is over. Controversially, the West Brom boss Ryan Mason sent off for dissent. Johnston scored the goal to give them the lead. Colby Bishop equalised for Portsmouth. West Brom 1, Portsmouth 1.
We've got 2.5 minutes remaining of added time. Sports Report is coming up with all the results and as much live reaction as we can bring you here on 5 Live before our next commentary of Arsenal against Leeds United. Aston Villa going in search of a dramatic equaliser, a late equaliser. Do they win a corner? No, they don't. The cheers will tell you that. Rob Green.
Well, Brentford fans starting to believe a little bit, starting to enjoy the moment. First home game, first win. It was a worrying defeat last week, but I think even if they don't see this through, if there's a horrible twist to the tail, they've seen enough today to say we've got a side that can compete, we've got a team that's going to be okay in the Premier League. If we reproduce this 36 more times, we'll be fine.
Full time at Bournemouth, John Akers.
Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0. Tavernier in the 4th minute from a Semenyo assist. Semenyo also hit the bar, and Wolves had Totti Gomez sent off in the second half. Strand Larsen had their best chance. Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0.
Celtic have beaten Livingston by 3-0. They're 2 points clear at the top of the Scottish Premiership. We have just over 60 seconds remaining of added time then here as a plane flies off in the distance on these slightly high but a little bit overcast cloud in West London. But as far as the Brentford supporters who are in full voice, they are going to be going home extremely happy, leading by a goal to nil as the ball goes up towards Thiago, and they've shown battling qualities after the setback of last week at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, that's what it's been. It's been a battle of a game, a real grind of a game, and it suited them. Go fast, go forward fast, go forward early. That's how they got the goal. That's how they provided the threat today. And you know what? Dig in and fight. And if you've got that as a team, you've got half a chance.
Rico Henry bombs forward on this near side. The substitute carries the ball down towards the dead ball line on that far side, tries to get past Bogard, and then just couldn't keep the ball in play, just slipped away out of his grasp, and it goes out for a goal kick. But by my watch, we only have about 20 seconds remaining. Aston Villa once again struggling in front of goal, just as they did against Newcastle last week. They've only got seconds left. Jensen wins the ball, touches it to Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter urged to run forward by Keith Andrews. Lewis Potter comes infield, Jensen back towards Lewis Potter, and it goes away from him. But it won't matter, because there is the full-time whistle, and it is a winning start in his first home game for Keith Andrews. The club record signing, Dango Ouattara, with the only goal of the game, the match winner after 13 minutes. That's all he needed to get them up and running. It's finished here at the GTEC Community Stadium. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0.